Welcome to LXC.
Lights flashing bright, players take the stage.
Is in the area.
So Aurelia's not going to be a part of this fight. She has no mana, so all in all, this is just a free dragon to the side of OSG.
Aurelia does have TP. We do see the TP coming out. But will it be too little too late? Good Seraphine ulti coming out.
Arm the stun. Going to connect these. Kaisa is going to fall. The Yone is going to get into that back line. Nothing is going to come out of it, though. Morgana is
Towards that Baron. Aurelia's in a little bit of a spooky position with Sejuani there. Sion kinda too. Have to see. Sejuani does burn flash. And we got a TP coming in. That is Hunter's TP actually. So the Malphite will be coming into this fight. Gets the stun off onto the Sion, and Sion's just gonna drop. That is
himself dead. It looks like Zach is going to be next. And it's not, or sorry, not Zach's.
drops.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be game.
Yeah, I do believe this is game. It's going to be a little bit before they're able to end. Sion is back alive, but I just kind of forgetting Sion now. She shreds tanks very quickly. You have those 4 items, you have that Nashor's Tooth done, and Sion just have too much MR. Unfortunately, Kaisa does a lot of damage. Actually, Sion has no MR. Look at it, I thought underneath his character. That is just that is OSG.
Game's on fire now, tension in the air. Every player counts, show 'em we care. Strategy in play, eyes on the prize.
Hello, Arbiter LXC fans, and today we've got an interesting one for you. So we are watching the semifinals of OSG versus Conduit Monarch, and you might be asking yourselves if you briefly looked at the schedule or last week. Wasn't that last week's match? Well, it is last week's match, and it's today's match too, because there was a slight delay, unfortunately. So we're starting in the middle of a series. Today I'll be casting as Scarlet with Soulkeeper. So say hello, Soulkeeper.
Hello everyone, I'm back producing and now casting.
And we shouldn't be really, figuring this one out because we're in the middle of a series, but some things have changed, right? There's been a patch, and the teams have had an entire week to figure out, what are we going to change about our strategy? You guys saw almost not like a highlight, but previously on LXC to try to catch you up. But the teams must know that like the draft was interesting last time, right? Because OSG Avalanche actually took away Yone from Razors for Life, but this time Razors isn't here. They're bringing in Bam for mid lane. So, what is the draft going to look like now? I have no idea, but that's what we're going to have to figure out together.
It is going to make draft a little more interesting. Samira is still banned out due to her bug, and that if Silas Vigo enter the game, everybody crashes. So, no Samira.
Exciting. Yeah. So, again, the series is 1-0 right now. I know we just started, but I guess the first game was really quick. And that means, did the teams already select side?
Yes.
I'm assuming
so
sometime in the last week.
Conduit lost game 1, so OSG's up 1-0. Conduit has selected blue side for game 2.
Mm-hmm. And they've got to figure out what they want to change about their draft, other than just their mid laner. Especially since that draft looked very interesting. I was looking at it, and you saw it again in the highlights. They had all AD except for Zach, and I guess Zach does some amount of damage, but they were into a Malphite and a Sejuani, and those champions were not taking damage, especially once they got Ocean Soul. So, it's a little hard whenever you've got no magic damage into Malphite, obviously. But they've got quite a bit of options, not only because they've had a week to prep, not only because they're changing their mid laner, but also because there's been a patch. So Just everything can change between game 1 and game 2 usually, but definitely this time.
Yeah, it's gonna be really nice to see how the priority goes. Is Hunter gonna be on the classic tanks where they've kept him on? But he's also shown he can play those heavy engage type of tank supports. And then you got Novocaine there in the jungle, who's been a huge Shinjani most of the season. And Ty has been kind of unnoticed as the unsung hero, I think, of OSG, especially on this Leona pick.
Yeah, but Leona has fallen off a little bit in not that much. I mean, I know she was nerfed, but she's still gonna
she
be
lost
there.
a couple of her defense, but I think like the engage tools has still been extremely strong.
And it has to be said again. So this is the semifinals. The other semifinal was finished earlier this week.
Yes.
So TD Harmony will be the one waiting for the winner of this, and they get to see all 4 games, or 3 or 4 games, I guess, or 2 or 4 games. I don't know. On stream, with the popcorn, making notes, which is a rather unique situation. And then depending, usually I'd say, well, then that game will take place at a certain date, but we don't know yet because the teams here have different schedules available because obviously they weren't expecting the finals to be delayed like this, so it could be tomorrow.
Yes, depending who wins.
Be literally the 30th.
I know if OSG wins, they've worked out the schedule with TD Harmony, who blitzed through playoffs. They 3-0 Tactical Feed, then 3-0'd TD Royal in their semis match. So they are undefeated so far here in playoffs. And if they do get OSG, that game will be tomorrow. I think if Conduit wins, it'll be TD Harmony and Conduit on like the 30th. I think was like team's earliest availability, but we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it is just unfortunate with the scheduling conflicts. But if it is tomorrow, that means there'll be 2 streams tomorrow, of course. I believe it'll be OSG versus TD Harmony for this league's finals, and then I have to look at Arbiter to figure out not Arbiter, Sentinel to see what they're doing. But so be aware that there will be 2 streams tomorrow, potentially if OSG wins. I think we're going to get into draft soon, though, so let's talk about this series.
Yes, looks like both teams are just about ready, so we should be stepping in the draft here in just a moment. We'll have to see where the priority goes. I'm not overly familiar with BAM's champ pool to know if Yone is still going to be that prio, and we are going to get in the draft.
Yeah, I wonder if Conduit Monarch feels comfortable enough to pick it, or if they're going to ban it. They do ban Lilia, which makes sense. I mean, yes, she's been nerfed, but that AP jungle item's still pretty damn good, and is a nice jungler. The Zac ban is, again, from game 1 last time. There goes the Yone. So BAM was not willing to step into Razor's shoes and take that Yone, and they know Avalanche is willing to take that away from Matrix, so just get rid of it.
Yep, good call. Billy Willard, heavy target focus ban. The Zac, the Shyvana. He's proven he can play both effectively.
Oh, Kaisa first pick still on this patch is really interesting. She's in a good spot still, but it does feel like she's been, staying in the bot lane for a long time while the MFs and the other priority picks, Jhin especially, have kind of fallen off. But here's Kaisa still available. But that Leona you mentioned is still up. Looks like they're going to go for the Amumu first, which is a similar kind of CC idea.
Yeah, Amumu, huge pick. We've seen this out of Novo before. He can pilot this Amumu very well.
Now, usually it's paired with an MF, which would be great here if it was an old patch. I'm not sure if we're still going to run it. I mean, the pick's still good.
Curse of the Sad Bullet Time is still a very strong team fight wombo.
Exactly. You don't need perfect patch notes if you've got really nice synergy. Those champions are still going to work together just fine. And it is probably they're going to lock it in. Now, then Amumu could also go support, but again, Sarion does like Leona. Notably, they left Leona up, though. Now, it has been nerfed, but it was the typical answer to Misfortune. And it would be good with Misfortune with Sarion as well. So it's kind of interesting they picked the Amumu instead, which is a nice flex. But it means Conduit has the option to take it away if they want to.
I think it's very much in danger. If they don't take it away here, I'm pretty sure OSG locks in Leona for their next pick. And that becomes a very devastating combo.
Nocturne is an interesting one with Kaisa. They both like to press R and go in, which is great. But I feel like the jungle AD carry synergy, if that's a thing, it's a little awkward with Kaisa wanting early pressure and Nocturne not really providing that. However, whenever you get the late game, it goes great. Now, Nami was
late game dive. disengage. I kind of like that. You know, you get the Nami tidal wave off the ult, interrupts MF, does disrupt the whole team fight synergy that Amumu and MF are looking for here.
Right, but this still leaves up Leona if that Amumu is jungle. And they're probably going to want to pick it now, because I don't think they want to expose it to bans unless they have the read that Monarch thinks they're not going to play it because of the nerfs. However, they're just going to pick Asol blind into Nocturne Kaisa.
That is
So
a
that is
bold
a
statement.
Right.
I
Interesting.
like
didn't
it.
even been aware.
We are cooking.
I knew Razors was playing a lot of Asol. I did not know Matrix was. And especially to pick it now means that they don't want it to be banned, sure. But they are letting the last few picks in an already oppressive dive comp be picked for that Asol. Now they banned Shin, so at least the person diving is not going to have a Shin shield. But I don't think they need Shin to be able to kill an Asol, depending on how the mid game goes.
Yeah, I think the Shen would just be over the top. You know, Nocturne ults, and all of a sudden you have 3 people on top of you with Kaisa, Nocturne, and now a Shen coming in. Seraphine, yeah, I agree with that ban as well. They've already got enough AoE ults for you to deal with. Why give them a
Great,
third?
but how do you stop Asol from getting overwhelmed? I think we'll get confirmation what that
An
ban
Ashe
is.
ban. So that's interesting. Do they think the Kaisa goes mid? Or are they trying to secure it down bot?
Interesting. Does it show Ashe on your screen? Because it's not showing on mine. It is for Twitch, so I'm just going to assume it's my error. Whatever. Ashe is gone. Mordekaiser is gone, so getting rid of that top lane pressure. Now, they do get to just break their flex here and leave their top lane to counterpick. It will be Soraka. That's the complete opposite of Leona, but it makes sense whenever you're drafting for that Asol. But Conduit Mars had a question here. How do they answer this early in Soul?
Yeah, Soraka's going to throw a lot of kinks in the wheel here, especially with that big AoE silence field and the stun coming out. And there's a good bit of healing. So it does, Soraka's ult does help counter that dive.
Right, and also, what does Conduit Monarch pick for Lunafray top lane? To be able... Okay, Tristana and the Asol is
mid.
interesting. They've both got the scaling. Tristana can kind of jump onto Asol even with the nerfs. Feel like a Mumu helps that 2v2, so that way Tristana can't put out that much pressure, because Nocturne Tristana will not necessarily win the 2v2, but then picking Scion blind for top lane, I mean, again, just more dive, right? Like, all these champions want to be melee range, essentially. Tristana obviously an 80 carry, Kaisa an 80 carry, but they still kind of like being melee range a lot of the time. So, Conduit Monarch has gotten this short range burst comp. And if there's one thing that can do well into short range burst is an MF ult if you can position them correctly. So, I mean, I don't know. It feels like Avalanche have the tools to make this draft work really well. Malphite's just more and more of that AoE CC. I don't know. It just feels like both teams want to press R at each other. And it might come down to the laning phase depending on which wombo combo can be bigger, you know?
I agree. I like the comps coming out. Monarch says we're going to dive a target. And OSG says, excellent, we want all of you in one spot anyways, so it's easier for us to press R.
Yeah, and I'm kind of interested in how they also kill this Malphite, because they've done it again. Now, Kaisa has a little bit more magic damage than Zac is, arguably. Even though Kaisa does a bit of mix. I mean, Zac does a lot of damage. I shouldn't fault him like that. But still, how did they kill this Malphite that came out 10th pick?
If your Tristana's really ahead... You know, or you can catch Malphite out if he's transitioning in between lanes. You know, Nocturne ult comes out, Triss can jump, and then Kaisa dives it, and you lock the Malphite in a 3v1. So you kind of have a bit of a dive/pick comp here from Monarch. I don't know that they win the 5v5.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. You don't always have to 5v5 in League of Legends. If you leverage this Nocturne into farming early... Amumu goes for ganks, but then you somehow get the dragons. Maybe you can avoid some of the 5v5s, go for picks, especially around that dragon pit. You got Tristana, which can do this nice little turret siege game, pretend the rest of the game doesn't exist sometimes. But I don't know, you go into that and you risk this Asol also scaling pretty hard. I don't know, it's interesting. Definitely,
Conduit is on the clock. Like, you definitely...
Right,
Triss
exactly.
does not outscale Asol.
And Scion sure adds to that, but I mean, Scion's usually unkillable. I think Malphite's also in the unkillable category for this specific game, because I don't see Nocturne jumping on him and killing him before he, you know, does enough damage to where Misfortune could get in and get some kills.
And this
So,
is
I don't know,
not
yeah,
solo
Conduit's
queue.
on the
We are
clock,
not going to
arguably.
see the full AP Malphite build.
Mm-hmm.
This is comp. So this is the opposite of what we'll see in our solo queue games. It's the Malphite you always hope they go in the solo queue games. You're like, please be a tank Malphite, and not the one-shot AP Malphite that you always see. At least in my
I mean, I
games.
definitely feel like if you pick Malphite 10th in this game, you've picked him to build armor. But I suppose you could say, see if you could build AP and still be a little bit unkillable. But yeah, I just don't see the point. Whenever you've already got enough damage, like, you really need your Malphite ult to kill people whenever it's going to be overlaid with an Asol ult and Misfortune ult. Like, it doesn't matter if you chunk them with Malphite ult. Even if you did 0 damage with Malphite ult, they're still going to die. So, I fully expect it to be armor Malphite, but you never know. Players have some interesting ideas
I agree.
for
And
what is best.
it is a great answer to the dive comp specifically. I always love seeing a Malphite versus a dive. You wait for that team to dive, and then Malphite hits R, and their dive goes horribly wrong really quick.
Especially whenever they're diving with squishy people like Kaisa, who R's in. Yeah, she gets a shield. She is not ready for the Malphite ult. I mean, if she's going to press R and then immediately flash, doesn't seem likely. So, that is the team comps for the 5v5. Again, skirmishes are going to be really important for Conduit, and their early game is going to be really important. I don't know if this Nocturne can pull that off, but we'll have to see. Because we're going to go into a quick break, and then we're getting into game 2, surprisingly, of this match.
Game 2, game 1 for us tonight, and we'll see you in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
All the barricades, I wanna know why they hold me back. Need a miracle to break me through, but I won't get that. If I was a real wonder, then I could save me from turning around. Lift me off the ground, and one day I'm free. Yeah, I wanna be a real wonder. Heaven lift me up from under. Wishing I could be somehow stronger now, so I can fight away all the pain inside me. Never be afraid of the fate that finds me. Wishing I could be stronger, so I can be a real wonder.
If you wanna be a wonder, baby, come and show it. Tell me what you feel in your heart and your soul. There's nothing I would take for granted. With me, we'll make it through. Takes two hearts to fix this heartbreak. We grew apart, I made a mistake, but I'll try to make it up to you, my darling. Ooh.
I wanna be a real one side. Heaven lifts me up from under. Wishing I could be somehow stronger now,
So I can find a way out of pain inside me. Never be afraid of the fate that finds me.
wish that I could be
Stronger, so I can be a real wonder. So I can find a way out of pain inside me. Never be afraid of the fate that finds me.
wish that I could be
Stronger,
so I can be a real
wonder.
Hello, welcome to a familiar screen as we're into game 2 of Conduit Monarch versus OSG Avalanche. This pause shall be resolved soon, I promise. At least it looked like it was going to be.
It wouldn't be semis
But we have a
without a
second to
pause
talk about
screen.
this stuff. Yeah. That's a Doran's Ring for Malphite. I think that's normal for this matchup, right? You just get some extra poke for Scion. It looks like we're unpaused. We'll
Yep,
have a little
you
bit
want
of
a
a
little bit more cues.
aftershock pause for a second. Probably soon.
Not sure if we'll see the aftershock pause. Oh, nope, I'm
There it
wrong.
is.
Instantly condemned.
But yeah, like items look normal. Kai'Sa's kind of interesting because I'm curious what amount of magic damage is going to be built into this Kai'Sa to deal with the Malphite, who's probably just gonna only AP item is gonna be Doran's Ring, so just gonna absolutely be armor. And I'm also interested to see where the junglers start, because they've got some nice options for sure. Mostly mid and bot lane.
Well,
You can go top
surely
lane if you want
one
to.
of them has to go AP, either the Kaisa or the Trist. Granted, they're both starting Doran's swords. That's not overly shocking, but one of them has to go AP here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw 180 item for Kai'Sa for early game, getting that Q evolve, and then going straight into AP, or at least some kind of hybrid mix. Or they're just trying to find every fight they can where Hunter is just not available.
I don't know if mix will be enough, though. I think if they go mix, it's just over.
Nocturne? Nocturne's looking to maybe... Oh, he wanted to start the opposing Raptors, but found an Aesol. I think, or maybe got a ward. He got a ward off at least.
Yeah,
I don't know,
and
if
we'll
he
get
didn't
the
see
vision
Aesol there,
out.
maybe he would've. Right, so the vision's good. And then the top lane trade is just whatever.
Style up
Ignore
caps.
this, which are-
Good shield burst. I like it. Lufa gets the early trade advantage.
We did it!
Luna. I apologize, Luna. It's not Lufa. So they will
But
see
Jungler's
now.
starting Raptor
Remember.
Camp. Yeah.
Interesting.
Jungler's
Knows
starting
it's
Raptor
awarded
camps.
and starts it anyways.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna do it on Vision. I don't care. You can
Yep,
watch me kill
don't
these
care.
Raptors. But that is kind of interesting because I think he's going to Golems next. So
Yeah, he will skip
it won't
the
be
red buff.
immediately obvious. It won't be immediately obvious to the opposing team, but he's definitely pathing towards bot lane. Nocturne, I doubt, is taking a level 3 gank, so he's pathing towards top side. Opposing jungle starts probably favors Nocturne. At the same time, Novocaine's got a really juicy gank bot lane if he sets it up correctly with his team. And that's jump in! Matrix is taking a lot of damage here. Only 2 autos. I think maybe a third one was looking for, but damn didn't want to go for
Yep.
that tower shot. Not
Trist
worth
has
it.
to establish some early dominance in this lane and try
Ooh.
to start keeping Aesol down. We are going to see
Okay,
the
but that
invade.
dominance... Yeah, the dominance has led to Nocturne deciding to go into Amumu's jungle, which I really like, because if you've got the mid lane dominance, you might as well use it. And Amumu also is just taking forever on this camp. I don't know my timings that well, but it does feel like it took a while because we did the Golem start into red, or Raptor Golem red. And that means he's going to come in and be a real sad mummy when his blue buff's gone.
Yes, Raptor Golem Red is a slower start, and he's going Wolves, so he's not going blue. Nocturne is now being really greedy here from Billy to do this Gromp.
And he doesn't have that mid dominance as much, but Amumu's not even aware that this could be a possibility, so he's not even going to check.
But if they see
I
this,
believe
bot
Amumu
lane
should finish it
rotates.
first. Oh, he's just gone.
Oh,
Nocturne's
he
just
gets
out of
out
there.
of this
You know,
free. And
not
turns
just free,
into a
he
gank
gets into
bot.
a gank. Okay, looks like it's just going to be backed off of. I don't think they're going to go for the 3v3 because they should be aware Mumu's right there.
Mumu's
Yeah,
now
Billy will
here.
spot it out. Gets to escape to his wave though, so who cares? Meanwhile, top lane, Luna Frey's doing great. Like, the health bar is a little bit against Luna, but the mana bar is definitely in the favor of Sion here, so... And suddenly health bar is equalized.
Yeah, so this has gotten a little interesting here in the jungle head game. Billy Wheeler does end up getting 2 camps away from Novocaine. Top's getting a little spicy.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, Hunter doesn't need that much gold to be useful, so... If he ends up losing the trades, and I mean, he's not even down CS yet, and Sion's going for a back here that's going to get canceled, so wait, actually, you're canceling it, but you're kind of scaring yourself with your life,
I think this
'cause
cost you your flash here, Hunter.
they both have flash. They both
Yes.
flash, but Luna flashes correctly, and that'll be first blood. And Malphite doesn't need that much gold to be useful, but as Sion gets ahead, he'll be a lot more useful.
Yeah, waited a little long to flash. He needed to flash earlier. But is going to TP in. He's going to look now to catch Sion if Sion's going to have to back all the way at his tower.
Right. Now,
Yep.
junglers
And he's
aren't
going to
meeting
zone.
up at the top side. I think Amumu's just coming here to make sure to get his level 2 camps. And that's fine.
Amumu
But
does
that means
secure
that
both
Nocturne's
scuttles.
just... Oh, wait. Matrix isn't a mana. Okay, I don't think Bam wants to jump in on a tower, though, so... That will not turn into anything except for more pressure. And Nocturne's just going to end up with a bunch more CS from the way these jungle camps have cleared out.
So even with all that pressure mid, Matrix is up in CS on this Acel.
Which is not what you want to see whenever you're playing Tristana versus Acel.
Not at all. He is farming extremely well with all this pressure. 40 CS sitting at 5 minutes. And we assume he's going to be backing and TPing here after this wave.
Yeah, you know, a lot of mid pressure meant that Amumu lost some of his camps, but Matrix did not lose much for it at all.
No.
And the plates are still at 5. Oh, he cancels to the back. He doesn't
Here's
have
the
mana, so
greed.
this wave's
He's
gonna
greeding
continue.
for this wave, knowing Tristana backed. You got 3
Yeah,
coming
I mean-
up. Scuttle or Grubbies are about to come up. Dragon's already up. This is dangerous
So he
because
does-
this guy's gonna like mess up priority for Grubbies.
Yeah, and the support's already there to try to get it. I mean, Matrix does have TP, so he gets to come back eventually, but TP isn't infinitely fast, you know? It still takes time to channel, especially the recall. So it's just going to turn into grubs, and I'm not even sure Nami needs to be here. Meanwhile, Hunter is taking this trade, not knowing the jungle and support of the enemy team are really close. Now, Malphite has the tools to get away, so it shouldn't be that, you know, much gold exchange, but I feel like this is going to turn into a huge tempo problem if Hunter continues this trade. Because the enemy jungler support are right there. He's even face checking to get the ward off. Doesn't look like Nami wants to stop the grubs, and I get that. I mean, Luna is taking damage as well.
Luna's doing a
So,
really
you know,
good job here to bait this fight, but Nocturne isn't 6. He cannot jump into here.
Yeah, so he's just gonna walk away, and Nami's gonna walk away. You know, bot lane, MS Soraka is not gonna punish Kaisa that much. I mean, Kaisa does
Junglers are gonna see
struggle
each
to
other
CS.
and walk away.
Yeah, nothing's gonna happen, basically.
Billy very
mean, top lane-
aggressive invades. He wants to steal camps.
Which is interesting because it doesn't seem like that happens that often versus Amumu. especially
And it's
someone
not
like Nocturne.
working. Looking at the CS, he's also ahead by 1. Somehow,
Right,
after
although-
having, 3 camps stolen now?
Mhm.
He's ahead against the Nocturne.
Yeah, but now he
Great
gets a
gank
gank
bot.
as well. This game looks really real. Gets the flash out of Nami, gets the flash out of Kaisa.
Not
Now,
6.
It doesn't sound like that much yet because there's not going to be the
Excellent
damage
Q.
to come through. They get the barrier though, and this means that whenever Amumu is 6, he can come right back and say, "Hey, remember those summoners you used? Don't you wish you had them?" Whenever I get to ult in, and you cannot do anything about it. But Luna, because of that extended trade top lane that actually didn't get bailed out, Luna's in kind of trouble here.
Yeah, Luna's now in danger of being dove, and they get 3 summoners at the cost of Amumu's flash. And he well times that bandage toss from Nami's bubble. Gets bubbled, but still managed to land the bandage toss inside the bubble.
Yeah,
Caused a
so
lot of panic.
this return gank is going to be really powerful. However, they're pulling the Nocturne over as well, who also has ult, but he's gonna go bot lane first. There's no one follow up, so he's just alone. Here comes the Kaisa ult. But there's an Amumu coming with ult, and there's no sounds for anyone here. Miss Fortune doesn't have 6 though. If she had 6, this is such a different fight. They do get Billy. Novocane's gonna go down though.
MF
There's
is
6
6.
for Miss Fortune. She
Now
can
she
cancel
gets
it
the
anytime.
ult.
She goes for it now. But they're able to walk out of it. And I don't think that Miss Fortune can catch here. I mean, Nami, Miss Fortune, they both have movement speed, but the bubble ensures that she'll get out. Except for the Soraka silence, she has nowhere to go. So they will
Tristana's
pick
here.
up that kill, but Bam's here. I didn't even see Bam move on the map, but moving the Tristana makes sense. Getting another kill. They get the kill on to Kaisa.
The
And
healing.
Bam doesn't have mana. I think Bam is actually in trouble. Zaka heals too much. The cannon's not gonna stop it for you. And now Aesol gets the full mid lane, and they get 4 kills down the bot
Disaster.
lane from that.
Oh, what a play coming out from the bot lane. What looked to
Oh
be
my gosh.
everything for Conduit. Exactly what you wanted, and it gets turned by an amazing Amumu ult coming in just outside of tower range. And they play it so well around the Soraka.
Yeah, it's definitely scary to go for that. I mean, if you're moving Bam, it makes sense to try to make a play because you can force the Tristana to come in and use that advantage. But Bam didn't have the tools. All he could do was auto attack. And it was
burned
too
the
late
ult
already.
early in
Right,
the
and-
trade pressure against Matrix to kick him under tower. If he has that cooldown, that's a triple kill. Double at least, possible triple for Bam.
And now, Bam does come back in return and get this plate. But Matrix already got a plate, and he's totally fine trading plates back and forth with Tristana.
Yeah, it's exactly the position Aesol wants to be in.
Exactly. Now, Brigade is going for this ward. Not sure if that's a ward you really get to go for, but the bubble will make sure Xarxes will back off. Now, Amumu, again, farming up pretty well. So, yeah, got invaded, doesn't matter, equals CS. And top lane is just going to be like this for a while, I think. Yes, there was that first blood. But I don't think anything too impactful is going to happen up here. Wait. I mean, maybe if Hunter stands in the queue, but that mini wave's too big. So they'll back off.
So there's some
Amumu
saving
helps the
grace
Aesol.
out of that bot lane.
Mhm.
2 of those kills went over to Soraka. All 4 did not go on MF.
Yeah, but at the same time, Soraka's scale's okay. Like,
She already
yes,
has
you want your-
Moonstone.
You want MF ult to hurt, like, a lot? But at the same time, if MF can't die, it will hurt a lot, you know? Like,
It is okay to
Soraka
put that
definitely
gold.
is okay with the gold.
Yeah, you can put that gold on Ty, and as we saw, Ty can apparently play that Soraka very well and turn that fight.
Now, in this unimpactful top lane, I said, it's actually throwing in 2v2 because Amumu's here with ult.
Amumu's ult
Nocturne
up.
is here with ult. Amumu's here first. Amumu does not get the Q on the knocked up target, and now Nocturne ult is available. However, they both get Amumu ulted and are kind of being burned down. No one can kill this Malphite, really, so they're turning on Novocaine. Novocaine should die here, but not before killing the Nocturne. They don't even get the Novocaine! So again, a 2v2. Or the jungle comes for a play. This time Bam does not, and it just completely goes in Amumu's favor with that ultimate.
So I couldn't quite see it happen too fast. What did Billy Willard spell shield off of that? Was it a bandage toss, or did he just miss the timing from his ult in to protect himself from the ultimate of the Amumu ult?
Yeah, I'd have to check, but again, it might not even really matter that much. You avoid the damage and the stun of Amumu ult, but
They
Nocturne's
comboed
not
it
killing
really
Malphite.
well.
Mm-hmm.
It was close with the Scion damage and the passive. They almost got the Amumu.
And now
And somehow they
do
get grubs
commit
out of
the
it.
support down here. Oh. Novocaine says, no, you're not getting 6. You're getting at most 5. Or, yeah.
They're going
Oh,
to
no,
back
no,
off and
actually,
let him
he
have
didn't
all
get it.
6.
Yeah, my bad. I thought Novocaine smited, but Billy was able to smite. And once the first one's down, you're not going to commit the Amumu for the second, third one. So that will be all 6 grubs. Now, this does mean MF and Soraka get to split some plates. Because Kaisa is not contesting this wave. Getting at most CS, not fighting anything, of course.
Yeah, really tough tempo
again-
loss in a bot lane. You're already down for 6 grubs. Now, the grubs are really strong on Tristana, but you gave up quite a bit for that.
Brigade's just
And
taking
Nami
it,
may die
taking it
here.
all. I don't think so, but Nami certainly can't go to bot lane.
Yeah.
And if Nami can't go to bot lane, that means Kaisa's got a 1v2 for a little bit longer. Oh, no, Brigade's gonna go for it. Now, Nami does have some sustain, but actually Kaisa's gonna be the one gone. So there's this half health Nami that has to 1v2 for a bit. And I'm not sure how that's gonna go.
And Kaisa's on
Yes,
a back.
Soraka doesn't...
So
Soraka
she
doesn't
could've
add that
just
much
backed.
pressure, but Misfortune certainly does. Now, top lane,
Soraka on the roam mid. Nothing.
Right. Mostly for wards, I think, because it's not really gonna accomplish anything in terms of ganking anyone. But those
Triss
wards
can't
mean
jump
this
when
dragon
silenced.
is really free. That's true. That's true.
Can put her in awkward
However,
position.
oh, actually, she is already jumping in now, and Soraka's already left. But Soraka has ult, and Matrix has teleport, so he's not even gonna bother to recall to go for it, because he wants to make sure he's available for this dragon and make sure he gets this wave. We'll get this wave first, then go for the recall. Tristana's gonna go for the nice deep ward. See, all the camps are gone though, so you just know Mumu's on the other side. You don't know exactly where he is. And this top lane is back where we return to whenever everything can be calm.
So first dragon, 1330. Little later than I had expected for dragons to start being taken. We saw both grubs go down before dragon 1.
Yeah, but at the same time, whenever Conduit Monarch want to accelerate this game, it could make sense to, you don't start stacking souls, but if you prevent the enemy team from stacking souls as long as possible, that's good enough. Because you just want to try to end the game, and the less dragons you give to a soul, the better.
Completely agree. So, was it them delaying it, or OSG deciding we'll take it later?
Oh wait, Billy might be caught here. Half spell shield uses it now, but there's
Spell
another
shield.
ult
There's
and
the
Q
ult.
coming.
Malphite ult coming for the
Malphite ult.
chain.
I think Nocturne's dead. Now Bam is here, and they make him nearsighted, but Bam doesn't do enough damage yet. He's got a pickaxe.
Yeah,
So
but
he's
we
gonna
just
be able to kill
flashes out.
tanks.
No Scion ult. I think Scion ulted to lane.
And that means that this top side of the map is purely available for Avalanche.
Should
Obviously,
get Rift out
Hunter
of this
needs
as
to match
well.
that turret, but yeah, that is probably the plan.
They're pulling
Now-
Nami up.
Yeah,
They're
and
looking
Tristana
to contest.
teleported. Potentially, I mean, you can lead this Kai'Sa down bot lane 1v2 for 10 years, and Misfortune will not be able to dive her, presumably. But they
So
call back
make,
the Nami.
Yep, they make the roam, burn the TP, and then don't follow through. They think better of it, but you burn some resources. Nami's getting a little further behind. 2 level difference now in the bot lane on the supports.
No, I always say support levels are fake. But at the same time, that Soraka does a lot with level 2 ultimates, so
It's
that level gap could be impactful. Now, Tristana gets the turret. Matrix has no mana for W. So this is just unrequited auto attacks onto Matrix. He will eventually get out, but he has to recall, has no teleport, and that's more pressure on the mid tower. He won't fear the dive because the Mumu is coming. And Tristana's actually looking to roam bot lane. Hopefully it doesn't go as much of a disaster as it did last time for Bam. Actually sees that Aesol stayed. Doesn't want to go for it. Will recall instead. Malphite teleporting to that tower just to make sure Scion doesn't get it. It's a little funny, but 6 grab Scion, if he gets that tower, that is like their one saving grace for Conduit Monarch, right? With their
Yep,
Scion.
6 scrubs paid off, so Triss was able to push in first tower, reestablish that pressure, and collapse that first tower there mid.
Right, but at the same time, I mean, you got first tower, congrats. The gold's still heavily in the favor of the enemy team, and they've still got the scaling. So you've got to really pick up the pace if you're Conduit Monarch.
Yeah, I think they sacrificed a little bit down bot lane. That lead is a little atrocious. The BF is already in for MF, boots 3 against Shiv.
Yeah, and
Nocturne's
not
here,
one that's
but this is not going to be what anyone wants as Aesol
Yeah, Aesol
moves
finds
him
the
down.
Nocturne actually, and I think this is really dangerous for Nocturne. He gets the fear off. I think it's actually in trouble. Soraka ult's too good though. The Sad Mommy gets interrupted, but it's enough to kill one person. Gonna be enough to kill 2 people. Tristana's behind, but where does Tristana go from here? Has to jump away, and it's complete dominance for OSG Avalanche.
Yeah, what Tristana thought was going to be a collapse on doesn't know the Amumu's also there until way late. You've half committed. Nocturne on Billy looking for that dive, and it just all goes wrong again on another bot lane play.
Now, Herald will be able to accelerate this so that way you don't just lose the fight, you also lose this mid tower, potentially more. There's no wave clear in Tristana whenever she can't go up into range at this level. However, she's able to hit a Mumu a bit. But Mumu doesn't care. He's built armor after this Leandries, and that means another charge. And yes, Tristana got first tower, but second tower is going to be down, and then maybe even some more damage on the second mid tower for OSG Avalanche. It does feel like they bought their way into scaling into this game.
It does feel so, but the kills are starting to like be very spread out. Amumu got 2. Asol got 2. MF still sitting on 2. Soraka on 2. So, yeah, the gold is still very spread. It's not channeled on one person as of yet. So it's not as bad as it could be.
True, but at the same time, whenever they're all scaling equally and they're all ahead, it feels really demoralizing. Who are you going to find to pick? You can't find Skirmish 3v3. Meanwhile, they're trying to go for just that. I mean, it doesn't have ult, so he might actually be caught out. Bubble is good. They do get the kill on Novocaine, but Asol's just channeling. Finally, Bam jumps on him. He just W's over the wall. He doesn't care. Nocturne will go down from that damage. And that means that no junglers are available, so I don't think either team feels confident enough to start this dragon. But we'll have to see. I mean, Asol Misfortune can certainly zone out people while they pick up this dragon, even if Smite is not involved.
Yeah, Novocaine immediately punished for being in the river, didn't have quite enough vision. Yeah, great play by Billy and Kaisa and Bam to just catch him out and get the kill quickly.
Yeah, but the solution to that is more armor, and more armor he now has with the chain vest. Kaisa's coming in onto Zarzi, who doesn't have armor. Misfortune gets set up an ult, has to flash, has to get healed, gets flashed on, and will die. Now Soraka will fall as well. But they use the cross map to make sure Sion will go down. I don't think Luna gets this Hunter kill. I mean, come on, that's enough armor. Even with the passive, I mean, it's Matrix, you might want to... Okay, he's fine. So,
dive bot lane finally works out for Bam. He does give Hook up the double kill. It was a little close and sketchy. The Soraka made that really interesting. It was well played by Ty with that last minute heal. I had nightmares for Bam for a moment. But excellent dive, good secure.
Which is a big deal, because avoiding that Mountain Dragon going on some Malphite and a Mumu, he's already got so much armor against your all-AD team, except for, you know, I'm assuming this Rageblade Kaisa. Thank God they don't have to deal with that, but now they have to deal with Chemtech Soul, right?
Chemtech Soul slightly delayed. We're at 20 minutes, there's only one dragon aside, so we're not going to be seeing that Soul for a bit.
But what we are going to be seeing is this Asol continuing to stack up. He is 3-0 right now, and he has 153 stacks. So, you know, about where he wants to be,
slightly
right?
Escalated.
3 kills, 20 minutes.
Asol's head, but gold's close to even. It's only 600 gold lead.
But they're going for the standing gold on this top lane. Because top lane is still standing for Monarch, not for long, they send everyone up here to collect it.
Malphite has TP here. Sion does not.
Yeah, so Avalanche cannot respond appropriately to protect that tower, but they can still defend mid. They can still make sure this Baron doesn't go down. I think they were just like making sure that Monarch was aware, like, hey, we can Baron, and you better be aware. But once they are aware and committing the appropriate resources, I mean, it's a little hard. Your Asol does do Baron especially fast.
Sion is moving up the river, does have his ult if he needs to get there in a hurry.
Right, but who does a Mumu hook? Because I feel like that's going to be the start of this fight unless Malphite gets in position to do some really nasty damage.
Would have to be
Actually,
the Triss.
Just Sion.
Or the Kaisa.
Because Sion's slowed here. No, Misfortune is not the one you want to be chasing to Sion. But the Malphite behind's okay. So Lunaframe can't really turn this. No, he decides he can. And Mumu finds the other side though, but doesn't want to do it without MF. And MF, meanwhile, is getting killed on by Nocturne. You can't chase the
There's
Sion
the dive.
with your MF. And now, without the MF, your combo is just not good enough. Tristana jumps in, Asol does not ult the Tristana, who's all the damage. Luckily, Tristana has to ult Asol to make sure that the damage is stopped. OW not able to find Soraka. But without the Misfortune, this fight just looks so much easier. Kaisa's getting in a lot of damage, gets on one tank, gets the other tank, but you're taking tower! Gets the Amumu ult at least for her death. Now Tristana jumps into an Asol. Oh, with the auto attacks, I think should be enough for Asol. Not quite channels enough of the Q onto Tristana, who's just trying desperately to get those kills. I mean, what an interesting fight. Where I think it was the one fight Conduit Monarch could win, and they, I think, won it or went even at most. They do get the tower afterwards at least, which will help a lot.
Yeah, they end up actually getting a lot off that. We do finally see the double dive come in. Nocturne with the Kaisa. OSG kind of overplayed their hand a little bit, chasing a Sion who eventually turned on them, and we got to see how quick MF can die. They did pick up Soraka. At the end of the day, it ended up being like a 4-for-2 in favor of Conduit Monarch, but it could have been a lot cleaner. Bam kind of jumped in, and then was ended up cleaned up by the Asol. They do pick up the tower, so they and pull a gold lead out of it for a K, but it was messy.
Yeah, and I don't think you can rely on that fight to say Monarch's going to win all of these, because I mean, Xerxes was just not in the right position, was not able to press R, and I don't think that he's going to give that to you again.
Agreed, and they did not get the kill target they needed, which is the Asol, who's now 5-0 with a bounty.
An
Almost
interesting
completed
build.
death cap.
So he's got the armband, and then he's got the rod to finish the Zanya's, but, you know, there's no reason to finish the Zanya's. You haven't used the armband yet, so it goes for the second death cap rod rather than finishing the Zanya's. And that just means that he's even more accelerated than usual if he went for the less greedy build of finishing the Zanya's first.
Yeah, no damage there from the Asol, doesn't able to break Scion's shield.
Wait. So, Tristana showing bot lane. Now, if you start the Baron, you get the Tristana TP. If you don't, though, because you're scared of it, Tristana's going to kill this tower really quickly, and you don't have an answer yet.
With 6 grubs, that tower's going down in a hurry.
So they do start the Baron, but this is its own risk if Tristana can teleport in and you're in a 5v5. But maybe they just think they win the 5v5 once they're in the pit. Baron's already at a quarter. Tristana's not responding. They just want to get
There's
that
the
tower.
TP.
Finally, the teleport comes in, but the ult comes in too fast. Tristana's not here yet. Misfortune gets a really nice angle only on tanks. That's totally fine. Tyan will
down.
also
Kai'Sa
go
dives
down here.
in.
The Kai'Sa's in the backline though. Soraka's gone. They don't need healing though if there's no damage. Bam! Right now it's just auto-hacking tanks. Finally, Matrix will go down. Misfortune's still up. Finally, that goes down. There's no damage on the other side either. Kai'Sa will go down to a tank, but Nova King cannot do the same to Bam, and Bam surely could also kill Malphite. It looks like Conduit Monarch are just able to make these fights work despite the problems with their comp inherently, because you can kill a Malphite with all AD if he's the only one alive.
Yeah. Feels Panman just sitting in the back, lived for so long on low health, got to free hit most of that backside, and then Bam just doing a ton of work on Tristana, getting the kills they need.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Malphite ult was on 2 people, but it was on Billy and Luna. Luna does not care. And yes, Billy went down quickly, but if you have nothing left for the Kai'Sa and the Tristana, that's not going to work out in your favor. Now they're committing the TP to make sure to get this dragon, but I don't know, it's pretty close. The damage is a lot, because I think Scion will be able to deal quite a bit. I don't think MF can get in range. It doesn't have ult anyway, so they should be able to secure this, and that'll be their second dragon as well.
Yeah, and they mostly leave together, so good tempo play. They are able to clean up the dragon, and that's 2 now over for the side of Conduit. And they're really just stalling this game out.
Right, but the problem is with the soul being this delayed, and you're not getting the tower damage that you wanted. Yes, you are delaying Matrix from. You didn't give him a Baron, and yeah, he's not stacking soul, but he's still stacking his stacks, which he was at 150 before. Now he's at 245. Once it gets to around 300, things get a lot harder for Conduit Monarch. If they just, I mean, yeah, you can answer Misfortune, sure, but how do you answer a 300 stack Asol while also answering the Misfortune?
Yeah, it is going to be a little sketchy. OSG's going to have to do a better job at target selection. The MF ult and the Malphite ult were good, but it was only on tanks. So while the positioning was strong, the damage was not where you wanted it.
Right, and these fights only get better for Avalanche. The more stacks they get onto Asol and the more armor they get onto these mega tanks. I mean, yes, Conduit Monarch has made it work so far. They've got the Gold League, they've got the Dragon League, but can they really steer it to a victory before this just becomes overwhelming? They've got a flank though that's kind of nice right now. I mean, if Misfortune's out of position, a Mew Mew ult doesn't do much without that Misfortune ult laid upon
Scion's coming
unless
down.
Asol's able
He's
to
going to
get
be
stuff.
behind them here.
They do get this tower, which is nice, but they're gonna have to find a way to run away from their crime. As Scion is looking for the collapse. Now they don't have fish in here. They know where they aren't because that pink word's showing. Looks like they're just gonna go to Baron though. You ran away, you escaped with your heist of the tower. How do you stop our Baron? Kai'Sa does it pretty quickly. I mean, not with Static Shiv though. I mean, I don't know, maybe they can get this done. I don't even know if OSG Avalanche is aware of this possibility. They're finally
They
running
see
up
it.
now. But it might be too late. Kai'Sa and Tristana
Asol
do it
isn't
pretty quickly,
following.
no way to carry. Redemption sees it. Asol has teleport, so it might be okay. I think they just get it though. And that's one way to accelerate the game into a victory before the enemy team gets super tanks, is just getting a Baron off of them greeting for your mid tower.
It's a
But a move will catch
5v4.
Scion. I mean, I think Scion can just die and be okay, right? Like,
Yeah,
you'll give up your Scion
But
for
they
the
win
Baron.
this if they turn and fight. This is Monarch's fight. They're not low.
Looks like they don't want to go for it, though, just in case. They just want to take their Baron, not get greedy, even if it was pretty free. And Baron will last until, no, it will end almost exactly whenever Dragon spawns. So they can leverage that into lane pressure. That will be them getting soul point. Let's see what they can do with this Baron.
Yeah, I think at the moment ASO shoals down bot lane on that tower, they could have immediately turned the fight. Yes, he has TP, but that's another tool you get out if they decide to expend that. And I think that was a fight they could have turned, and that would have been devastating game flip. That would have put
And it's important
OSG on the back burner.
To make these game accelerating plays whenever you've got a clock like the Acel and armor stacking a Mumu and Malphite. At the same time, maybe this Baron will be accelerating enough that they can eke it out.
Let's see, what are we at? 276 stacks.
Yeah, he's getting up there for sure. And it doesn't look like this game will end off of this Baron, so he's got a while to go yet.
Yeah, this is getting into an awkward spot for OSG. They kind of want the game to keep going, but they're going to have to find a way to stop taking these bad fights and losing all this tempo.
One good fight would be finding just Tristana. She's in a bush, she's got empowered recall, so I think she's gone. But they still get pushed on this bot tower. I don't think they want to go for it, though. They've been burned before. This dragon is spawning. And Luna is just pushing alone in top lane. I don't know who can answer that. These recalls are also kind of scary because, yes, you have time to get back in time, but that means you have to face check into a Nocturne Tristana Kai'Sa Scion.
And they dropped no vision on that.
Mm-hmm. So Scion is hitting the tower right now. Malphite is answering. Misfortune's getting mid tower, the minions off the mid tower. But Nocturne has so many options. Billy finally finds a word. He's been sweeping for a while. Finds one on the blue buff. Says, wait a second, they've got no idea what's going on over here. Well, let's just take our free dragon because I believe Avalanche have decided to give it up. I mean, it just depends on if Amumu comes back in. But if he does, he's going to find a lot of people in one bush.
So they are going to do the bush camp, but they didn't get any of the forward wards you would generally want to see there outside wolf camp if you're going to do this.
Right, so instead they just turn back on the dragon. Luna gets a nice little Q damage onto Soraka as well, which is pretty big. Amumu is one thing, but getting on Soraka's nice. Nocturne's going to use that to go in onto the Misfortune. The blant means that Amumu is alone. He ults, but there's no follow-up. However, someone's on Soraka alone, and it's Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa does get onto the Misfortune and Soraka, and now Acel alone cannot carry this. Yes, Acel usually wants to 1v9. He doesn't want to literally 9v9. He will be able to escape with his life, but that is third dragon and 3 dead. Now, Baron should fall off, or has fallen off, so they won't be able to quite end the game, I believe, without this menu wave. But Monarch has accelerated this game to the point where they will end this game at this rate before the armor stacking and Acel stacks get too much.
Yeah, another good catch. They do get the bush cheese play. They step too many into the Scion Q, get stunned. Immediate Nocturne ult comes out. Kai'Sa ult.
He's looking. Now, he only has Acel for follow-up, and you can't go too deep whenever you're waiting for Acel, because Acel Wing forward is kind of scary. But if Billy's alone, he will take a Q, try to bait out that spell shield, and find it. He doesn't want to commit that hard, though. So we go back to wave clear with Acel.
Yep, would be alone, would be a scary play. And if he goes down, that would be a little scary.
I mean, that'll just be game, right? If Malphite's gone. Maybe they wouldn't be able to quite end the game, but it certainly would be close to lethal damage.
Yeah, he'd be back up in time for the Baron play. But it would definitely put you on the back foot. Which you wouldn't want to see. So Baron happens one tower with 6 scrubs.
Right. They only get 1 tower, but they do get themselves on soul point, which is something. Yes. But look at the armor stacking right now. You know, we talk about Acel stacks. He's at 336. Amumu's at 226 armor. Malphite's at 533. If you hover over that, oh, we just went to 603 from his nice little completion of Warden's Mail. He takes 86% reduced physical damage. What is the magical damage coming out right now? It's Kai'Sa with a natural
Kai'Sa has gone the AP. 2 books.
His Sork shoes as well, which is really important here. To make sure you get as much magic pin as you can onto. I mean, we talk about 600 Armor 110 armor or MR for Malphite 57, which is just a base MR for Amumu.
Yeah, there's no armor coming out. There's not even Merc Treads across this entire team.
You can see so many steel cap platings. I almost expected Soraka to get steel cap platings.
343 stacks now on the ASOL.
But this Baron's spawning, and
20
it's kind of hard to get
seconds,
positioning for
Trist
both teams.
TP.
Tristana getting a lot of pressure bot lane because that tower goes down to a Tristana. She'll get enough gold to be able to deal with the armor on Malphite and Mumu potentially.
So Bam's sitting there waiting to see where ASO shows. Does he keep pushing?
Yeah,
Does
I
he
like
TP? I like it.
Make sure to be aware of what your options are.
Right.
Hasn't even selected for the wave yet.
Not showing yourself on vision makes the other team also question, are you with the rest of the team, or are you still sitting bot lane? They don't know.
Actually going for a recall probably has an item breakpoint or wants to teleport in with that movement speed.
Kaisa and Nami split backs.
I mean, you could try to force the Tristana TP by starting this Baron. If you get caught, though, your dreams are dead. So they kind of control the pit. All they're doing with the control of the pit right now is getting the vision out. They do not want to start this yet. They'll get information with that ward, or the scuttle kill. But how do you even... I mean, you're in the pit, you can't start it, and you're just waiting for the enemy team to make a play.
And you're just going to take poke from Kaisa here, which you don't have the magic resist for, and it will eventually become painful.
And so spawning in a minute, and they've got mid-wave push. Now, they do commit by getting mid-wave push, so you can go and collect it and potentially look for a pick. Bam is out there. Q misses, though. Cyano's ulting in right now. Novocaine's all in. Has to flash. But Malphite's just deep in there. Has ultimate still. Who does he use the ultimate on? Special down. Or no, that's not special. That's an additional special from Edge of Night for Billy. And
trading some
a lot of things going on, but all the major cooldowns are still up, right? Amumu, MF, ASOL.
So we've traded
Malphite
inside track. Originally Monarch pushed up mid, had inside track. Now we've seen it on the opposite foot.
Right, and this Soul's a lot easier to take. So if OSG Avalanche get time in this pit, they will take Soul, or not Soul, they'll take Dragon.
Monarch does not need this or to take a bad fight here. This Dragon means nothing to them.
Wait, but they've got the mid-wave, so how
they're gonna take the fight.
Avalanche get out of this situation? Do they just try to recall and give up Baron? Do they give up the mid-wave? I mean, it's so interesting. Malphite's backing because he's got teleport, so he can go clear mid-wave. But the rest of the team has to stay available because if they go recall like Malphite, the Baron will just be started. In fact, they might just start Baron anyways because all the team is showing mid lane.
Sure, everyone went mid. You saw ASOL go bot. ASOL's backing. Oh no, Hunter's TPing topside. But there's no ward. They cleared the ward.
But the Nocturne ult means that blue team will get it. Amumu's committed. The ult only finds onto the Nocturne. That's not enough. Kaisa is still available. Gets the ult from Malphite though. Kaisa has to use barrier. Billy will go down. So Kaisa has to use Zanya's. ASOL's just free using Q button. No one's stopping him. So yes, you got the Baron for Monarch. You lost your entire team for it.
380 stack ASOL is a problem coming in when he is free hitting.
Yeah, although he has no mana now from how much Matrix did that fight. Used it all, 100% efficiency on that mana. Might want to get one mana item. Might not even go for it because if you're using all your mana to fight, maybe you just win the game. Or at least the team fight. Now, Tristana still has Baron. And the counter engage is possible without Malphite, Amumu, and Misfortune ult available. I mean, these champions are not that threatening without their ultimates. At the same time, I don't think Bam wants to jump in without that much support.
Yeah, the team fight is so different when Bam isn't able to jump on to ASOL here and shut down Matrix. But the MF ult was layered at such an angle while it was only hitting tanks, it actually kept Matrix safe from Bam being able to jump on and kill the ASOL.
That's true. Your Misfortune ult's a lot more powerful whenever there's a dragon within it, protected from all attacks. Extending it almost with his Q.
Yeah, it let them clean up that fight. ASOL completely online. We see him 5 items, close to his 6th, almost full build here at 38 minutes, 319 CS.
Yeah, getting that magic pin because Tristana got QSS and some other targets have some MR already. Everyone you want to hit has MR except for Kaisa, and even then, it's not going to be that bad of an item against Kaisa.
No, definitely not. We are seeing more AP coming out of Kaisa, committing to this heavier AP style, and W spam. But I don't see
Right,
anybody changing build paths to pick up any MR from OSG.
Yeah, at the same time, do they even have to? The super tanks don't have to be that super of a tanky whenever they've got a 394, 400 stack Acel. You don't have to tank for that long, believe me. Acel will kill people.
Yeah, I guess really, if you're just speed bumping for a dragon, buy the dragon time.
Yeah, and it just really all depends on this Amumu catching people or getting caught himself potentially, not walking away. Now, again, Tristana has the Baron still, and so does Zion apparently. I missed that he lived with it as well. And Acel E takes up the entire wave. Okay,
Yeah,
Amumu's looking for something. Nocturne's kind of out of position. I think that the spell shield will mean he's safe. Q goes down, that's one shield. He doesn't use it for the second one. The ultimate comes in. You can't jump in alone. So Nocturne will be down. Bam is here as well, but the Soraka's just protecting Kaisa gets in. But Kaisa's so committed. Yes, you got a Misfortune. Misfortune already ulted Acel. However, getting committed on by Bam. Can't go over the wall enough. Now Malphite ult is not good enough whenever you don't have Acel and Misfortune. Malphite trying his best. Yes, he's taking so long, but Kaisa's waiting, killing Amumu, and I'm sure Kaisa will get to you eventually, Malphite. Doesn't even need to. Tristana will pick that up, and that is an ace for Conduit Monarch, and you have to imagine it's lethal damage for sure. Soraka's coming up in 30 seconds, Misfortune as well. Those two are not going to be able to stand against these.
No, I don't think
to make sure the minion lives. I believe that we have just tied up the series.
I agree. We do see, again, Bam waits for Acel to commit. Soon as Acel commits, Bam immediately jumps on him, takes out Acel, is able to turn the fight.
Yeah, and Conduit Monarch, we said they were on a clock. They denied that entirely. 40 minutes isn't the longest game I've seen, but that is the most stacks I've seen on Acel that loses the galaxy for quite a while.
Yeah, really well played from Monarch. They had a couple misplays around, but overall, fairly good job in the late game with target selection, and Bam coming out very strong to make sure Matrix cannot flip this game.
Yeah, I mean, look at that damage dealt by Bam. The viewers cannot see it, but it's 40k damage. Even Acel only did 21,000. And part of that is because you keep on hitting super tanks, so you're going to keep on racking up the damage even if it's not looking like much. At the same time, it's a lot of damage for Tristana mid versus Acel.
Yeah, it was a really, really good game. You had OSG in the lead for a good part of that whole early game with how bad bot had gone for Conduit Monarch and the failed attempts on the ganks. But they hung in there, delayed out the game, and they're able to eventually clean it up here and deny Acel. A very stacked Acel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Acel got everything that he wanted. I mean, they did blind pick it, and I was not expecting the Tristana to be enough to counter it, but whenever you get that dive comp, which was already showing whenever the Acel was blind picked, I mean, it's just hard for him to play the game even with 400 stacks. And this has huge implications for the draft as well, because if you can blind pick Acel, or if you can't blind pick Acel, that makes Matrix have to do some different math about what blind pick he is willing to go, and if they can really be the team that wants to be, the clock keepers. You've got to end the game before 40 minutes. Well, not this time. So can we really put them on the aggressive if we're going to lose like that?
It looks like we're going to see OSG is going to take blue.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see Conduit on red. I think blue has now won every game this series.
Yes, it may be hard to remember because game 1 was a week ago, but that is correct. Blue has won every game this series. Now, Conduit Monarch did show that they had to ban Yona on blue. So if you do that, you're definitely banning it on red. So Avalanche has to come up with a new mid lane strategy, probably.
Surely, and I think you have to get rid of that Tristana.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think that's too big of an issue out of Bam.
Especially since, this wasn't mentioned before, but Bam's an AD carry main. Now, AD carries have been taking over mid lane, but you don't have to let it without the nerfs coming out. There are only a few AD carries left alive in this meta. You ban one or two, and suddenly you ask the question, can this AD carry sub actually play mid lane?
Yeah, what is it? Triss, Lucian, Zeri? Is there anybody else that really goes mid anymore?
Corki, maybe? I don't know.
Corki's
Feels
been mid for a couple
hard for
years, though.
And
But he gets kind of beat up in certain matchups.
that's true. I guess as an AD carry player, it's not like you can go, oh, I play AD carries. I can play Corki. He's an AD carry. Like, he does the same damage profile, not exactly the same playstyle, even once they remove the package. So, yeah, I don't know what is going to happen in that mid lane matchup, but I know that it's probably not going to be Tristana versus Acel for the rest of the series.
Yes, I would keep
looks like
Tristana off
gonna
the
find out pretty
board,
quickly.
even if I'm not playing Acel here at this point, just because of how effective Bam was showing he can play it and effectively land the combo.
So it looks like we're going to get a draft pretty quickly. And again, Avalanche has quite the options. They're blue side this time, so that means they have to blind pick something. If I'm Conduit Monarch and I see them blind pick Acel, maybe I leave my mid lane for last and see if they can come up with a different blind pick, because their first one was not appropriate.
Yeah, we saw the Kai'Sa first pick come out. I don't know that we're going to see that again. Not that Feels Pain played it bad, I'm just not sure it had the effect with the dive buddy comp they were really looking for. They did make it happen once or twice in that game, where Nock was able to dive in and Kai'Sa could follow up, but it always tended to put Kai'Sa in an awkward position. Sorry?
Yeah.
Watching
a
draft issue? Draft should be starting any moment, and then it kind of became question marks.
So the question is, what is Avalanche blind pick as well? It would probably be Yon. I don't think it's going to be available, though. Looking back at their blue side draft from last week, it might be a little bit harder than I anticipated. Maybe I won't know. But at the same time, I'm not entirely sure
I probably
what they
want to
do
get
blind pick.
bot lane on something solid that you feel really good on. The Sriracha
seemed
worked
okay.
well. The Misfortune was
Yeah,
okay.
I
I
mean-
don't think the alts sometimes worked out. They were more like zoning alts that help support Acel rather than Misfortune's going to kill everyone alts.
It might not be possible to get the Sad Mummy combo with it as well. But let's see what they ban. I think it will be mid lane focus. Again, for game 2, they ban Twitch, Shyvana, Zac. Zac is still going to be off the table.
I think
but
Zac
maybe
and
I'll let
Shyvana are
Twitch
still
go through.
good. Alright, they're
So
changing
Nocturne's
to
gone.
Nocturne.
Which is an obvious adaptation from the first game.
I
Or
think
second game, rather.
okay, so they're leaving Billy Willard, Shyvana on the table.
Now, do you blind pick Kai'Sa yourself? You do, and that changes the entire fight that you have to imagine whenever they don't have Kai'Sa, so they actually go with a move with themselves, and they might just go with Misfortune as the other side as well.
Are we flipping sides? Same champions?
Potentially, now, Misfortune isn't as popular as she once was, but if you've got a movement, you have to imagine it's still good. And Misfortune made that matchup look very easy on the other side. Now, Zeri is kind of interesting. She doesn't mind if everyone's stunned up. She might not be able to one-shot everybody in a Mumu ult. At the same time, you curse everyone to make that magic damage from a Zeri ult do extra damage, she'll be fine. So
And
I think
this is
Zeri
a
here
flex
makes a lot of sense.
that can run mid.
That's true, and you
Bam
do have
does
an
play
carry
it.
main mid. So, what does Avalanche pick here to answer these champions? Probably jungle, and probably support. Actually goes with Mordekaiser blind.
This was banned
This is
against
interesting.
Hunter last game.
Right, and Hunter, I mean, it looked like Luna and Hunter were going at it before. With Mordekaiser, you have to expect it's going to happen a lot more, and they might be more impactful 1v1s than
It
even last
becomes
game.
very hard for Zeri to get away in Brazil.
Right, exactly. Now, Karma is a nice support for Kai'Sa. Not the best for team fights per se, but in lane, that Zeri might struggle whenever Kai'Sa Karma are constantly pressuring her.
Yeah, I don't... If it's me seeing Karma, I don't run the Zeri bot lane. I don't like that matchup.
But how do you answer it? With the Seraphine, makes you have your own little bit of sustain, and the AoE ults are continuing for Conduit Monarch with the Amumu and Seraphine. Taking away the Acel themselves, which might be an answer that they don't want to play Zeri into Acel. Either way, Matrix is not playing at this game. Misfortune gone, so they also believe the Conduit Monarch are sending that Zeri mid. So
I don't know if the
what
Mord's a flex or if Novos plays that Mord in the jungle. If that is still an option, that could be interesting.
right, but you start stacking this and you get a lot of magic damage, ironically, for OSG. You know, Conduit's been showing they can do it with all AD. I'm not sure if Avalanche can do it with all AP. Smolder gone would be an interesting matchup, Zeri versus Smolder, but it's gone now. And Scion is also gone.
And I don't know enough about the mid lanes to know if that's a bad matchup for Zeri or what that even looks like.
I mean, Zeri doesn't like struggle, but she doesn't really punish Smolder either, and that can lead to some issues where Aesol with 400 stacks is one thing, Smolder with 400 stacks is another, especially whenever you don't have that dive comp that you had last time. So I can respect taking it out.
Okay,
Caitlyn,
that makes more sense. Caitlyn,
and that bot lane matchup is a lot easier for
Caitlyn, Seraphine
Conduit Monarch.
make a lot of sense together, because Zeri Seraphine is kind of anti-synergy. Zeri's very short range, Seraphine's very long range. They want to be in very different lane states. Caitlyn's a good pair up. They're both long range.
Rammus is really interesting for Avalanche. I feel like it was like, they keep on drafting AD, let's go Rammus, but this time you've got a little bit more magic damage for Conduit Monarch. Rammus, I mean, definitely stops Zeri pretty heavily. Holly, though. That's more interesting. Let's talk about that for a second.
Matrix throws down the gauntlet. Says, hey, want to see who's a rock star? I can play Akali.
And Akali into Zeri probably favors Akali a little bit more than Aesol into Tristana, so I do like this for Matrix. But it is a very different flavor than Aesol, right? Aesol, you want to survive. Akali, you can't be doing that. You have to go for those bot lane plays that Bam was going for before, not able to succeed. Maybe Matrix can. But the Mundo top lane is an interesting answer to Mordekaiser. I'm not sure that's exactly what I would go for, but it does mean that the damage profile from Avalanche kind of helps Mundo a little bit, right? I mean, his only threat right now is Kaisa, in my mind.
Yeah, Mundo is a very scary late game, insane tank. There's not a whole lot that's going to be able to kill him, and as long as he goes the correct build, we did see this last week, actually in Warden, where they didn't build the Heartsteel second. They waited till like 4th item, and Mundo was a non-factor.
Mm-hmm.
When you go Warmogs in the Heartsteel, Mundo can become a giga tank and be really insane with a ton of damage and soloing carries. So as long as the build's correct, Mundo's huge here.
Yeah, it feels like Avalanche is this time on the clock. Now, last time they were, holding the clock saying, you've got to end the game quickly. They were not able to defend that well, but now they're on the aggressive. They've got a Rammus and an Akali. They've got the tools to make this game over quickly, but they better use them.
Yes, and you have the Death Realm. So this gets a little more, somebody's going to the Death Realm. It likely should be the Zeri or the Seraphine. Could be the Amumu, but I think in most cases you want to take one of those two out. Because you really like the odds. Akali gets on a Caitlyn. That's a bad day for Caitlyn. I was a former ADC player. I still remember how that matchup works, and it's unpleasant. Then the speed coming out of Karma Rammus, that's also really tough to deal with. It changes some ganks down your bot lane strategy. You know, Rammus is coming in, suddenly sped up by a Karma, and the flash doesn't matter if you have it, because he has the speed to catch you.
Avalanche have definitely changed up their team comp from Game 2, and even Game 1. So I'm kind of interested to see how they play it out, because it's just completely different from Game 2, right?
Yeah, we're going to see OSG pedal to the metal here. They have to play it that way if they want to be able to win this game and pull back into the lead.
At the same time, last game, while they were on the defensive, they were able to make some fights happen that were in their favor. If they can pull off any of that while on the aggressive, it will help accelerate the game, whereas whenever you're on the I don't know. It just depends on how laning goes too, because how does Kaisa Karma go into Caitlyn Seraphine? Feels like they just take so much damage even through the Karma shields.
Until 6. Yeah, there's not a whole lot that they can really do. They have to farm until 6. They could get poked out, that's really the chance, or the ganks coming in from Rammus is pretty much how that lane survives. OSG has to play through bot lane here. Mord's going to be on his own, which is where Mordekaiser likes to be anyways, because you can't really gank him once he's 6. He takes a 1v1.
Well, their bot lane did pretty well in lane for last game, so maybe they can convert that into a win this time whenever you're not playing Misfortune that has to land these hard ultimates, but instead of Kaisa and a Karma who scale pretty well if they do get that quadra kill lifted to them in the mid game like last game. We'll have to see how it goes though after this quick break.
See you when we get back.
Keep running faster and faster. I don't know where we're after, yeah. We keep up with disaster. I'm thinking that they're after me. We're running like faster and faster. We're running like faster and faster. We keep running faster and faster. I don't know what we're after, yeah. We keep up with disaster. I'm thinking that they're after me. We're running like faster and faster. We're running like faster and faster.
All right, welcome to Game 3 of Avalanche versus Conduit Monarch. We've got some interesting stuff going on in the mid and bot lane once again. Top lane even as well. Yeah, Lunafray probably won't die that much as Mundo, and definitely will scale. But I'm expecting more explosiveness in the mid and bot lane.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting this to be a more bot lane focused matchup. Just because there is a Mordekaiser in the game and the ganks, as I said earlier, the 2v1 doesn't really happen once he hits 6. He makes it a 1v1, and then you play King of the Hill versus a Mordekaiser. You know, the next challenger can enter.
We've got the most shallowest ward ever for Avalanche. Also spotted out, so Billy will be able to path around that, of course, if he, thinks about it.
I think a lot of pressure is on Matrix here on the Sakali pick.
Mm-hmm. Especially into something like Zeri, where if you allow her to farm, she will take that and win the game. So at some point between the levels of 3 and 7, you have got to make sure you shut her down.
Yeah, Akali's going to have to really work out these roams here for Matrix, or be able to solo kill, which is not easy with Zeri being to jump over walls.
Yeah,
But
Zeri
does have the
Akali has a lot of
outplayability.
dashes.
Yes,
Zeri
can
has
follow
one dash and
over
it's
the
best
wall.
dash. Mm-hmm.
So, skill matchup.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, bot lane kind of even right here. They both clear wave 1 before wave 2 even matches. So it's all going to be about these 3 minions. Seraphine Q does get damage off, but it doesn't kill the wave. So it looks like they're going to give it over to Kaisa and Karma for level 2. Oh, but the level 2 book actually kind of goes the opposite way. Finally, W comes out. You do not want your Caitlyn to be at this health level whenever you're picked it into basically 2 close range champions, but Karma just does some things in lane.
We do see the perfect CX coming out for Kaisa. 2 waves, 12 minions.
And that is not normal against Caitlyn. Whenever
is
Caitlyn
not.
has to give up level 2, it is a lot easier to farm.
The long range is not going well in this lane matchup. Not how we thought this lane matchup was going to go.
Yeah, you can see Rammus walk away from a level 3 gank just because of how well the Kaisa and Karma have been able to control this wave. It's not gankable, so it kind of messes up with Novocaine's pathing at the same time. I mean, you'll take it whenever your bot lane's doing this well into a Caitlyn matchup.
Yeah, Xerix does finally miss 1 CS. It did happen on the 3rd wave. Perfect CS is gone.
One in chat.
Right. Was a single caster minion, but excellent farming coming out from Kaisa.
But Caitlyn now has an Amumu in her pocket, so she probably will be feeling more empowered to get these auto attacks off. And that makes farming a little bit harder. Also interested to see where Xerxes wants the lane to be, because he's had control of the wave. But if he's aware Mumu is probably in the area, maybe he wants to back it up a bit.
They're going to see him now on that ward.
Yeah, and he also just goes towards Crab. So Xerxes actually can keep on the pressure. We'll walk up just to make sure they know exactly where the Amumu is. But not really in a gankable spot. Although top lane, I think Luna's just died. I was looking at the map for bot lane, and Luna, unfortunately with the early game that Mundo has, goes down to Mordekaiser. Hunter is going to be a much bigger factor if this keeps happening. Hunter got first blood last game as well in isolated 1v1, but that was a Malphite, not the biggest of deals. On Mordekaiser, it's a much bigger deal. Actually, it was the other way around. Sorry, Hunter got solo killed. Meanwhile, the Mumu going for a gank that's not really going to do anything except for get pressure. But pressure is something that Philpan Man has needed for a while, so it's not the worst waste of time. It does mean that Caitlyn can finally get control of this wave once again. Oh,
yeah, doesn't burn a flash. But not a bad gank to just kind of let OSG's bot lane know, hey, Amumu is a factor in this game. He is not ignoring this lane. But you are.
But the psychic Q. Yeah, it cancels his recall, and that means that Novocaine is actually invading Billy this time, so the opposite way around, and that is level 2 Raptor camp, which is a big deal this early in the game.
Yeah, Lunafray is going to be in trouble here again. Like, he's going to have to respect this Mordekaiser a little more. He's about to hit 6, though. But this is starting to get a little scary.
Too. And Amumu should be telling, like, hey, there's a Rammus here. Finally sees him on Vision with the Vision plant as well. So this 2v2 is kind of tough because Mordekaiser's really far behind. Doran's shield and Ruby Crystal, the Doran shield, Ruby Crystal, and Blasting Wand. Meanwhile,
Neither
Billy
one are
gets
6.
onto Novocaine. I mean, if Novocaine has to fight like that, it might not matter about the item advantage. Hunter's 1v2, but he's 1v2ing so
Bam
well.
is here.
Zeri is here. Zeri should be able to kill the Novocaine. However, now Matrix is here. Can't quite land the E, so Hunter will also go down. Zeri gets both of them. And that mid lane matchup just became impossible for Matrix.
Matrix misses everything. Trying to get any kill there on the move for the resets. Hunter not able to clean up anything either. So great in and out of Conduit Monarch. Yeah. Bam walks away. 2 kills clean.
Novocaine was trying to rely on the strength of that Blasting Wand advantage of Hunter, but he gets caught a little bit, and Zeri gets there first and has more ability to impact the fight. So that Blasting Wand didn't matter at all. And now mid lane is such a disaster for Matrix. I don't even know. You kind of have to just sack the lane and try to roam on the bot lane or something, because there's no way you're killing a Zeri anytime soon. And in fact, Rammus being here, he's just gonna have to watch them or something. Billy's
Mordekaiser is now 6.
He wants to do something. I mean, there's no flash, and Brigade just kind of leaves him. Mid lane's not there. Zeri had an awkward timing.
Billy
so
dies
Billy
in Brazil.
Will go down. Meanwhile,
Matrix.
the other side of it, Brigade also dies. You roamed your support up. So, I mean, I guess, I don't know. Brigade roams up into his death. Ram isn't available to be there. And we get all 3 grubs for OSG Avalanche.
Yeah, heads up play from Matrix. Catches Brigade in the rotation up for the grubs. Hunter's able to clean up Billy Willard inside the pit, taking him into the death realm. So yeah, this mid lane matchup kind of goes the other way once Matrix can chop. And Ty here on the
Now he's
gank.
half health. Wait, Viserion might be the
Rammus here
advantage if
too.
you don't need a shop. Matrix gets an E onto it. Rammus is here as well. Exhaustus just feels like overkill. Taunt.
Oh,
they give
the
it over
taunt
to
feels
Matrix.
terrible for Matrix to clean that up.
You know, Matrix was like, I want to buy to be able to spend my gold on items, but what if instead I spent my gold on my teammates? Come here and give me this kill. Now I still have the gold too, so it gets to recall for a lot of gold. You have to
Rammus
imagine
here for Feels
Brigade.
Pain. Had to
Feel
blow a
Pain,
flash
man.
earlier.
I think the taunt's just too much, right? There's no flash. There is a barrier. If they get too greedy diving, barrier will go down and they get to back off, getting a summoner spell advantage.
Oh, that was way too close. Does have to only burn the barrier. But that was good play from Feels Pain, using the 90 count net to get out of there, and the trap to ensure that dive can't continue.
Yeah, mid lane just got so impacted by those last 2 plays. I thought it was over for sure. It's not over anymore.
But yeah, Feels Pain Man is in a dangerous situation. There is a lot of poke coming out from Kaisa and Karma, and you're very low health with no protection.
No sums.
You're already
Your
down
ultimate
CS.
will not save you in a
You
fight.
can't really back here, but you kind of have to back here and go down further.
And that's not what you want to hear from a Caitlyn. That's not why you pick Caitlyn, is to survive the laning phase. She needs to be putting this Kaisa down, because Kaisa, despite being a late game pick, is actually on the aggressive team here due to the scaling pick by Monarch.
Surprisingly, OSG is going to get the back end and let Caitlyn recover rather than continuing to exert the pressure.
Yeah, I think they want to convert this pressure instead of plates and denying CS to Fields Pan Man into this first dragon, which would help them accelerate the game. But I don't know. Rammus just finished or canceled a recall, decides to go for it again. So it looks like they just used the tempo kind of poorly almost in a way, because I don't think that the bot lane and jungle were communicating well.
Yeah, I feel like that's a missed opportunity as well. I think they could have rotated in. They had pressure everywhere. They saw the Amumu up top side.
Wait, Caitlyn and Seraphine are roaming top, by the way. It looks like they're going for a really late lane swap. Now, this will give Caitlyn the opportunity to get back in the game. It'll stall Mordekaiser out, because he will no longer be able to farm, and Mundo wasn't getting that much gold anyways. You were already giving up this dragon. I mean, it's a unique situation, but if Caitlyn could get these plates, I mean, that's more than gold than she was going to get before.
I normally would love this play for anything except a Mordekaiser, with him being able to just ult one of them and kill them.
Yeah, they definitely have to play that range really well, get the poke out before that can happen. because
Seraphine is in
Mordekaiser
6.
makes that 2v1
If I'm Hunter
so
here,
pointless.
I'm flash ulting Seraphine, and we're coming into the Death Realm, and she's dying.
Meanwhile, oh, Zeri, E button, no problem. So, Zeri will be fine against the duo. The duo has come up. They actually just reverse swapping on them, but no one's matching the Mundo right now. It looks like Mordekaiser's plan is to eventually teleport. It's not up yet.
OSG looking to
If
dive
they can
here.
get onto them, though, the flash comes out. It comes on to Caitlyn,
There's
though.
Death
and
Realm.
Caitlyn will certainly die in the Death Realm. The root comes out, so he lives longer than expected. But even if he lives this,
Good
with his flashes,
flash.
there will be a taunt
Excellent charm
afterwards.
from
Seraphine
Brigade.
ult's good. Mordekaiser can't live.
The
Actually,
turn.
somehow, Tulpan Man lives through all of that, gets the flash, gets the root. Seraphine CC is enough. Now Mundo's teleported in. I don't know if they can get much more after this because Caitlyn can't really join. So Mundo's kind of alone. Caitlyn does die to the Akali. Amumu is really big. There's just not enough damage follow-up. They're so low, though. Any amount of damage from Amumu? No, not enough. He will get bursted. Now
Bam
Akali's
is
on
here
the other
for
side.
the
There he
cleanup.
comes in and finishes them off, maybe. The taunt's good enough to deal with it for now. Akali will get the kill. Lunafer trying to find Akali will get it.
Mordekaiser's back.
Surely Lunafer will go down. There's just so much gold exchanging here, though. Because after that kill, they also will finish the 6 scrubs.
Mordekaiser died early in the tower dive from that excellent 3-man ultimate under tower from Brigade on the Seraphine. Has enough time. The fight goes so long, he's able to teleport back in to help secure the fight.
Yeah, and now Caitlyn is unsure where to go. She's trying to make sure these grubs don't go down. I don't think you're stopping that one. So they will go down. And what lane are you going to be assigned to after this?
You were hoping to
Especially
get
with
that
everyone's...
Caitlyn ahead, but as I feared, going into Mordekaiser, if you step up too far, he's taking someone into the Death Realm. But it was a
didn't even step up
really
too
good
far.
flash.
He was 10 miles away because Mordekaiser just flashes in, gets it. Yeah, maybe it was a bait all along because he was confident in the root and the Seraphine somehow to bait that fight. And then it extends so long that they end up losing it anyways.
Yeah, Bam again, excellent roam up, like catches everybody off guard. It's just because Hunter comes back up, burns the teleport. Just really good plays all around. A little messy, but we expected a high kill game, and we are getting a high kill game.
Right, but for the acceleration of this game, you've got the 6 scrubs. You better use them though, because you've got no gold lead and you got 1 dragon in at 13 minutes. So you know, not the worst place to be on the team that's trying to scale. At the same time, your Caitlyn's going to be useless for quite some time.
Yes. And Matrix Akali, 3-0.
And also, Mundo is not able to scale that easily. He has to go Spirit Visage first.
That
So,
is
unsure
never
whenever the-
what you want to see from a Mundo first item.
Mm-hmm. Now, there is a lot of magic damage from the opposing side. However, you could have potentially seen that being delayed. I mean, I don't know. Mordekaiser's just so powerful. Maybe the Warmong's Heartsteel plan was not good enough to survive the lane.
Oh, you've got already Spirit Visage, and
Speaking
now
of
you've
which.
done no Magic Mantle.
I mean, Luna's not taking that much damage, and there isn't a Mumu waiting. Once he gets out of here, Hunter gets stunned up. He should go down here, and maybe Spirit Visage is just enough powerful for the lane that it doesn't matter how inefficient it is. If you kill the Mordekaiser, you get buy yourself enough time to scale anyways.
Yeah, true. Yeah, maybe he knows more than I do. Having just stacking magic resist, you gotta feel the Merc Treads are coming out here next.
Wait, they're going for this while Mordekaiser's dead. This is a numbers
TP
disadvantage
comes
for them.
in,
Doing
this
it.
has to
Also,
be
your
Bam.
Zeri's teleporting. So it looks like they got the Zeri teleport and are content with that because they are going to back up. But that means Avalanche has the opportunity to use the cooldowns that they've earned for themselves to make sure they get the second dragon.
Yeah, Dragon's gonna come up in 40. They're gonna have to face check it. OSG's in area, have the vision. But you do have a Rift Herald?
Right, Rift Herald on the side that is trying to play defensive is always interesting. Where do you funnel that gold in? Do you try to use it to earn yourself a dragon randomly? It's not very common that the team that is, trying to play for the late game gets the Herald, but whenever they do, they've got some interesting options with it. Meanwhile, Caitlyn, interesting options of never walking up because there's so many people ready to kill him.
So
Still 10 man,
Hunter
unfortunately has to
canceled
wait
the back
so far away.
of Zeri, gets
Oh,
him in a
good, just-
weird spot.
Yeah, but now Mundo's here, and he was already doing okay in the 1v1. You saw what happened last time they got the 2v1. Right now he's in a
But this is
200
surely
2v1 with
Dragon.
no ultimate. Right, you do get the dragon at least from this, but at the same time, getting that kill on a Mordekaiser makes Mundo's job of scaling so much easier.
But you're down 2 dragons. I don't.
And it will be
It's a little
Infernal Soul,
sketchy.
which is not one you can be seeing go over and you expect to win the game.
Yeah, it's. I get it. I think if you get the kill on Bam, it's a little more impactful. Versus getting the kill over to Mundo.
And that is 6 scrubs going over, but the ultimate from Amumu finds the carry. That will be Matrix getting a shut down for Amumu. Rammus is trying to protect here. Mordekaiser gets the teleport in, has ultimate. But who is he going to ultimate whenever he's that low on health?
Steps on a
Because
cupcake.
Caitlyn finds all the damage on him. Luna, full health, going ghost to make sure to get this fight chase down, at least get the tower afterwards. But I think they're going to be content for just getting the waving, trying to pressure the tower.
Yeah, they pick up Matrix off the Seraphine ult. Really good cupcakes coming up from Fieldspan under the tower.
Yeah, and
they
this is
will be
the
able to
ideal usage of
tower.
Rift Herald, right? Getting that mid tower, maybe getting more on the second tower, because Caitlyn will still do damage to this tower despite being behind.
Matrix TP
Yeah,
on
he's-
the flank. Surely he's not going to
but
fight
can
this.
Maybe doesn't have ult. I still don't know that they can fight it right. They do protect the mid tower though, because once Akali is there, you're not going for that second tower. At the same time, losing your mid tower and then half the health of your second mid tower, whenever you're the one on the clock, is very scary for OSG Avalanche.
Yeah, you pick up the bot lane tower off the play just a few ago, but you end up losing your top and your mid, and you've chunked out your secondary on the mid. So it's a very tough position of a back and forth game. You've lost your mid advantage now. Bam's back ahead of the Akali, and Caitlyn
Keeps on going back
re-enters
and
the
forth,
game.
though.
But Caitlyn builds Collector first.
Which is kind of scary, because there's a lot of armor builders for OSG Avalanche that Caitlyn kind of wants to auto-attack. Now, Zeri will be doing a lot of the auto-attacks on the tanks, at least. At the same time, I mean, unless Caitlyn's auto-attacking Akali, many of the auto-attacks she's going to go put out, the Collector's not going to be that effective.
Yeah, I haven't been a fan of the Collector build, especially as first item. If you're Jhin, it's kind of okay because you have Force Shot, and that makes a little more sense. Caitlyn's more for the alt Collector status, which I'm just not personally a fan of.
I mean, you ultimate anyone on this enemy team, and Rammus just walks up and laughs at you. Poor
Exactly.
Caitlyn. So, first that Collector, I mean, we'll see if she can get auto attacks off onto the squishy targets where it has a lot of value. But even the squishy targets have a Mountain Drake. Now, Luna Frey, there will be CC eventually. Taunt comes out. The root comes out. He's still basically full health. I think Luna's just walking away. Knock up as well. W from Kai'Sa. They are just bullying him a little bit. He doesn't care.
Doesn't even have to burn the ult. Is going for Warmog second.
Right, and they can't even prevent him from collecting this wave, by the way. They've committed 4 people up here. There's no objective except for that top tower.
And I think
They
mid
have to
goes
walk
down.
away because Caitlyn is hitting that mid tower, and now
May have
Caitlyn
gone
is
too
a little
far.
bit overcommitted. Right, because there's no way to dodge the CC. You are able to E away into the enemy team, and they will gladly walk up and kill you anyways, despite your net, if
Yeah,
you
so
E
that's
into the enemy team.
Part of the speed up that we talked about earlier, you do have that Karma. There is the Rammus Ball. It's faster than you may think. And just slightly misjudges the time to get out.
And, I mean, at the same time, Caitlyn got a lot of damage on that mid tower. If it does fall, that will be a major impact for the Dragon considerations, because this is number 3 spawning in 1 minute.
Yeah, I think at that point, like, you realize you're dead, commit for the tower. Like, you've already overstayed. You might as well kill the tower. You're not getting out.
But I don't know how the teams are going to set up for this Dragon. There's a lot of red wards, which is good for Conduit Monarch. Yet, I don't know, Luna Freak has to be involved somehow. It does have teleport up now.
30 seconds on Dragon. This should be a big fight.
Yeah, I
Conduit
don't
can't
expect
give this
Monarch
up.
to give it up. They technically could. The mental damage of being on Soul Point against Infernal Soul
At
is
20
so
minutes?
scary. Teams always fight it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were
Zeri
13 minutes
actually-
for Dragon 1 last game.
Now, Teleport does come in, and Akali's really committed. Now, Akali has a lot of tools to get out should they try to collapse on her, which they are. Looks like Akali just walking away. Doesn't have to use anything yet, but Lunafray is quite the wall. No one is getting past Lunafray on his watch.
Yeah, Cupcake Wall comes out.
They're going to start the dragon. Mordekaiser has not committed teleport yet, so Hunter is going to look to trade this for some gold unless he teleports in. There is an interesting flank TP available, I believe. It's not a ping, right? Yeah. So he has a really good flank TP. They do get it
Billy
for
Wood
the
wins
side
this
of Monarch, and
fight.
this means that Rammus is kind of committed. There's a trap wall. He can't get out. Finally does. Amumu ult, however, finds the back line. Zerion has to get out. Kais has to ult out. Novocaine still committed. Mordekaiser's ulting into a lost fight. He might be able to ult one person. Meanwhile, Billy, trying to 1v2, finds the Karma. Hunter has to ult the Amumu. I think he might get this kill. He's definitely dying afterwards, though. Amumu will go down, but then Mordekaiser will go down, and that means that they get the dragon and 3 kills, only losing Billy.
Yep, Billy Wood wins the smite fight in the pit. It's a good attempt from Novocaine.
Oh, I think Bam might have found Matrix. Not quite. That's an Akali. Akali might have found Bam. Doesn't want to go in, though, with that many people there. So, that'll end the fight there.
Yeah, good way for Bam, seeing if Matrix is on his toes. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta check. Hey, you shopping in that back screen?
Exactly.
So that will delay Inferno Soul Point for OSG.
Which is scary. You don't want to hear the word delay if you're
No,
against this
not at all.
kind of enemy comp. Mundo's on 2 items.
And they
He's
have a
level
big problem
13.
now with Bam. Bam, big
Bam
problem
is
last
also
game
on 2 items. Almost 3.
on the Tristana. Had an excellent game. Now he's ahead here on the Zeri. Has
And
the shield
Zeri's
bill.
has a lot more damage potential whenever she's paired up with an Amumu. Tristana was willing to try to dive in to kill the backline. Zeri will hit whoever he can find, backline or frontline, and do quite a bit of damage, especially once Amumu shreds them. But, I mean, there's a lot of people committed up here. Who's going to match Bam? Akali's on the Raptors right now. I think that is going to be who's going down there after the Raptor finish. So I don't think Zeri gets any free time here. That's fine. Hunter trying to set up a
don't
game.
know that
but it's on
Lunafreya is the
Amumu.
one you want to go for.
Right, especially whenever Amumu's right here. The ultimate comes out early so that way Mordekaiser can't ult out of it. Now he does. But does he even win that 1v1? I know on the outside they certainly don't win that 1v1.
Kais gets
Novocaine
here
is
first.
dying. Sirion's
Kais
here.
is
Kais
now
is
here, but the
they
damage
just can't
just
do
isn't-
anything. SemiFinals good enough to find Kaisa too. So they pick up that one, and that's really close to Baron as well. Now Lunafray, chunked out. They don't really need his tankiness whenever they want to go take Baron, though. Caitlyn also got mid-tower while all that was going on.
And you're trying to kill a Mundo when you don't have any Grievous wound. While I understand Rammus has Grievous off Bramble, no one else does. Mundo has to hit Rammus for that to become
Yeah,
a factor. And that is not
You have
who
to
Mundo's
spawn there
focusing on.
somehow. And that doesn't seem very likely whenever he's got that CC reduction and you have other targets you want to taunt.
Yeah, someone is on that team is going to have to get heel cut. Outside of a Thorn Mill.
But who? Wait, who actually gets heel cut on this team, actually? Looking at it, I mean...
Karma's gonna have to
it's
sack.
really hard.
Like, you're gonna have to get the Oblivion Orb on Karma. There's just no
Even
way
then,
around it.
Even then, it feels so awkward to have Karma be your heel cut, because that means she has to land a Q or a W onto the Mundo, and if she doesn't, Mundo's just unstoppable.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's,
Matrix
it's
gonna have to
definitely
be
not
over
gonna
this
feel well.
wall. Snipe comes out to make sure they can see it, but Amumu will not commit too hard, so Matrix will get out.
But with no heel cut at all, you're just gonna lose the game to Mundo.
I mean, lose the game to Mundo or lose the game to Bam. There's so many options for them how to lose the game here. Looks like they're choosing losing to Mundo though, because Lunafray is destroying Hunter right now. Being in the Mundo is kind of scary. He respects it, says, I don't know where your jungler is. But now this is showing, I mean, how do you deal with that top lane pressure? And if you do deal with that top lane pressure, you're losing the dragon.
Yep. And Warmogs kicks in. Mundo's back to full health from the trade.
Yeah, and the rest of the team for OSG Avalanche says, Hunter, you got this. We're gonna go contest dragon. Good luck. I don't know that Hunter's got this. Oh, that Q damage alone. Novocaine looks like he went for an engage with a flash ultimate that we missed. Now Mumu's turn to engage. Seraphine as well gets the charm on Kaiser despite the ultimate. Zeri will hit Zeramis, no problem. Akali's finally on the backline. It's just the support though. And this top lane still looks like a disaster. And Caitlyn's not even there. Caitlyn is hitting bot lane tower. Mundo is hitting top lane tower without even noticing the Mordekaiser. Finally turns his ire on him. How does Mordekaiser get out? I don't think he does. Hunter's in a lot of trouble here. The Q isolated damage is finally popping off, so maybe there's something here. Tower's also here. Meanwhile, if Mumu gets a kill in mid lane, the top lane kill finally goes over. Someone finally answers Caitlyn, but now the other lanes are on fire.
Yeah, it's just the Mundo's proving to be way too strong. There's not the heal cut, so Hunter just ends up going down, even through like 12, 15 tower shots going on Mundo. Worst Mundo has to do is pop a ghost. And target selection from Matrix is rough. He goes after the Seraphine. Instead of Bam.
They left the Mordekaiser top lane to be like, you know what, you take the 1v1, we'll take the 4v4. The 4v4 is a disaster. They lose everyone and lose both inhibs mid and bot lane. And Mundo's still pressuring top lane. Now this is only the second dragon for Conduit Monarch, but more damage is just not going to be a good sign for Avalanche.
Yeah, you got Monarch now full control of this game, 10k gold lead. Like, surely this is looking to be, this is all completely in their hands. Baron in 230.
And no chance of getting soul. Because that's really your one out this game, right? You got the first two dragons. Maybe we can scramble together a soul. I just don't think they can even survive to the next two dragon spawns, let alone also get them.
Yeah, trying to find your way back into this game is going to have to revolve around dealing with Bam. You have to catch Bam at this point. If you don't catch Bam, I don't think you win a single team fight.
Even Phil's Panman is taking the side lane Caitlyn option, which is not something you see very often, but it works if you've got so much pressure on the other lanes. You can't answer the solo Caitlyn if your other lanes cannot match with numbers advantage and do something. So Caitlyn gets to just destroy the towers.
Yeah, which is really where you want your Caitlyn to be, in that nice little... It's not quite a full siege comp, but Caitlyn's got that really long range to poke out these towers, so it's working out. And your 1-3-1 is much stronger than OSG's here.
Especially whenever you got supers in two of those three lanes. Luna Freya was already doing so much damage with just regular minions. Give him supers and see what happens.
And more magic resist coming out from Luna Freya.
Not even bothering to go in the Heartsteel at this point because it would be so delayed. I've got enough health with the Warmogs. I'm just going to get resistances. And I don't think anyone can deal with that. It's not like Kai'Sa's getting any pin anytime soon. Akali doesn't want to be hitting Mundo, but certainly will not be hurting him. And the other two people, or other three people, just aren't doing damage.
Mordekaiser bites a bullet, gets a bramble coat. I don't know if that's what you want either.
Yeah, it almost would have been better to go Morellonomicon on Mordekaiser, but the Q finds the enemy here. Novocaine has to run away. Now Rammus can run away pretty quickly. Not getting the Q on Xerxes is pretty big, but the flash ult is good enough. Because now Seraphine gets to ult in. Yes, Rammus will find your 80 carry. Your 80 carry is going to be fine. They kill Rammus. They also just killed Sirion on the other side of that without Caitlyn damage even involved. Now they've got a 5v3 on the map. Surely with the supers in bot lane, they will end this game.
And Zer's going to have to be careful. Could get caught here. Yeah,
I mean, Bam does not care about getting caught. He's just going in. Mordekaiser does have ult, so you have to be a little careful. Mumu finds it, though. How is Mordekaiser going to ult if a Mumu's CCing him? Finally, under the double towers, Matrix will go in. You can maybe kill the Caitlyn. You have to kill the Caitlyn. You can't kill the Caitlyn. They do get the Amumu. Caitlyn does go down to Kai'Sa. I messed up a little bit there, but it doesn't matter. You got the jungle, you got the 80 carry. There's another 80 carry, and that 80 carry will kill Hunter, and then kill the Nexus, and that will be bringing us to match point.
Yeah, so we're going to walk in here to Game 4, Conduit on match point.
And even though it's 2-1 right now, Monarch is just 2-0 in the night. And that's got to feel something, right?
Yeah, Bam coming in off the bench because Razor wasn't able to make it today has pretty much put this team on his back with Billy. Billy's had an excellent
Just keep on
series.
giving him,
And
just keep on giving him
Bam's
80
playing out of
carries.
mind. Yeah, 80 carry mids. It's working out.
So how do you even begin the draft of this? Whenever you're OSG Monarch or OSG Avalanche, got to figure out something to do with this mid lane because it's not worked out for you so far. This time you had counter pick. You've got blue side. You've got to figure out what pick will be the one to carry you across the finish line. Unfortunately for them, it was not Kaisa. So what other power pick can they get on the blue side that will win in the game? And it can't be Yon either, because I would say Yon, but it keeps on getting banned.
Yeah, you gotta assume that Yon is because Bam doesn't want to play into it. So, and that's been working out. I see absolutely no reason to change those bans for Conduit.
Right, and for Avalanche, they're now facing down match point. And even though they have a game in this series, it certainly doesn't feel like that as a player whenever your game was a week ago. Right now, you just feel like you're 0-2.
But you're going to have to question, do we keep this Zac ban and this Twitch ban? Bot lane is not the problem.
Yeah, that was definitely another
And
time.
what else is in Bam's champ pool? We saw the Tristana game 1, wasn't banned game 2. Pulls out the Zeri, shows he can pilot the Zeri.
Yeah, and you can't even, like, force them to have a problem with AP, because usually whenever you've got an 80 carry mid like this, maybe you can ban out the jungler and top laner's AP picks to try to force them into this comp that can't work late game. They've done that twice now. Well, at least they've been against all AD once today, and it just hasn't worked out for them, despite drafting Malphite for so much armor.
Yeah, I think the game 1 was actually very, very close. And I don't think that was the comp's fault. I think OSG just misplayed that comp. If they played that a little tighter, I think OSG walks away with that game.
Alright, well, it looks like the teams are going to be taking 5 minutes, so we're going to go to a break, and the teams are going to figure out exactly how they're going to draft whenever we return.
Mirrors on the wall, staring back at me. Stranger in the hall, frozen by the scene. Portraits seem to fade, he lost his centerpiece. Can't recall his face, I hope he'll rest in peace. Haunted by my mind, victim or the prey. Everything is fine, take me to my grave. Bury me alive, keeping me astray. Hard to say goodbye to who I am today. Everything is fine, take me to my grave. me to my grave, bury me alive, keeping me astray. Hard to say goodbye to who I am today. Haunted by my mind, victim or the prey. Everything is fine. Take me to my grave, bury me alive, keeping me astray. Hard to say goodbye to who I am today.
Welcome back for potentially the final draft of the night. We are sitting at 2-1 in favor of Conduit Monarch, and we're going to see what happens in draft. OSG have decided to take blue side once again, but they're going to have to mix up their draft, because that last one was not it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if they keep with this Zach and Twitch and Nocturne ban, or how exactly they want to navigate around BAM's champion pool, which seems to be what's throwing them off. And here we go.
Yeah, definitely. How do you keep on answering 80 carries? There's just so many of them that keep on infecting mid lane. Not that I feel personally about it or anything. You can't ban them all. Twitch is gone though, so that's one of them gone. I don't even know if Twitch would go mid lane, but it's definitely not going any lane this game.
Well, if we do see it mid, it would have to be an AP Twitch, which is my personal favorite, but I play it support because I'm a dirty little rat player.
Yeah, that's definitely fun. I don't know if that's why they're banning it here, though, but we can imagine.
That's how I'm going to assume the ticket, that it's a ban against me, and it's my Twitch support that they hate. Lilia ban,
so
they're still
Conduit's
respecting
taking
Lilia.
Yeah, taking the typical red side bans, probably Lilia, Yone, and then maybe one more that they don't want to see first pick. I don't think they're going to ban Kaisa. And I don't even know if Avalanche is going to pick Kaisa again. Nocturne gone again. In game 2, it was pretty spicy. So I respect that. But this means they're just not touching BAM's champ pool yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're keeping with this Nocturne ban. It wasn't that impactful in game 1. It was more of a conduit for Kaisa to jump in, which was the problem.
I remember the main thing I remember Nocturne doing early game, Yone is gone, of course, is giving over 4 kills to Avalanche in bot lane in that early ultimate. Now, Mumu going away makes sense, but that means you're not taking it for yourself, which means I think they're taking one of the priority picks again, which probably means Kaisa.
It leaves Billy
If you
Willard
aren't taking
Shyvana
Kaisa, you take a
open,
Mumu. That'd be interesting.
which he has
Maybe
piloted that Shyvana very successfully all season.
Right. So it is a question of what Avalanche wants to pick, knowing that Shyvana is the likely pick for a Conduit Monarch. Orngon, which makes sense. It's another super tank that Hunter could take top lane considering the Mordekaiser hasn't gone as well. Kaisa will be the first pick locked in once again.
So both teams prioritize this Kaisa.
Right, but Conduit can just take Zeri and flex it once again. I mean, if you pick Karma, I guess you can assume that it's going to go mid lane, because again, that Kaisa Karma bot lane matchup would suck for Zeri. But you can just blind pick Zeri here, and I think it's still fine for Monarch.
Yeah, they hard won bot lane against the counter matchup. With the Karma, there's the Zeri, as you predicted.
Now, I don't expect to see the Caitlyn again. I mean, maybe they could just say, play level 1 better, we'll be fine. But Caitlyn did not do what Caitlyn was supposed to do early game, and I feel like there's better picks for doing what Caitlyn did late game. I mean, I guess CG Towers definitely went well. Zach will be taken off the ban list and straight into Monarch's pool, because it was available. Shauna not being seen, though. The Zach, I can see why they banned it, though, and now we're going to see why they banned it, because it is available.
Yeah, it is a strong pick. You do have to kind of pick around it because he does knock everybody around and can be desynergistic, if that's a word.
Mm-hmm.
Where you kind of want most people group for wombo combos, but he does give that nice gank path. Okay, so we are finally going to see Ty's Leona.
Yeah, and I like this a lot. You're not worried about countering the Zeri as
The
much. Because it's probably
Akali
mid
run
lane
back.
anyways. Okay, so to be fair to Matrix, I mean, there were definitely some moments where the Akali looked good. Say that, mid-game play didn't go exactly the way it did before, where Zeri got these kills, and the other play went the way it did, where Matrix gets a bunch of kills. I mean, I could see Matrix popping off on this Akali with Leona especially, but they've got to change some of the other matchups. Now, Seraphine will be locked in once again, which again does not go amazingly well with Zeri, so I expect to see Avalanche maybe target some AD carries here.
Maybe I think you have to get rid of Mundo here. Do not let Luna back on that Mundo. You didn't have an answer for it. Don't bring it back in.
Yeah, and they already banned one super tank on Ornn for Conduit Monarch, so Mundo gone, Mordekaiser.
Don't agree
Ornn
with
gone.
the MF ban here. You already have a Zac that would be completely counterintuitive. They're not looking for that wombo. You have the Seraphine, but Zac's gonna knock people out of that MF ult.
You also have the Leona, which is the typical answer to Misfortune. And you probably... I mean, I guess I could see it for lane. Because Misfortune Seraphine would be kind of hard for Kaisa to lane against. And then even if Misfortune doesn't do much later, she's already done enough. Ivern ban, however, and they take out the Caitlyn themselves. So they felt like it was a problem. Maybe they aren't confident in their level 1 like they got the Miracle level 1 in the bot lane earlier. I mean, I guess I could see it because you don't have the jungler pathing towards you this time, maybe. And if that doesn't happen, then maybe Caitlyn knows it isn't going to happen and then plays more aggressive. So might as well ban it out and not have to deal with that reality.
So not banning the Mundo means they say Hunter has an option for it. Ashe is smart.
Well, he's going to have to show it now. Because it will be last picked if it's picked. And the Ashe is nice because we have seen Conduit Monarch lose bot lane multiple times. If you lose bot lane as Ashe, it's okay. Not so much as Caitlyn. You do it as Ashe, we'll forgive you. And then you've got the Zeri to carry anyways, and maybe this Mundo. Now, Vi is a much different jungler than we've been seeing from Avalanche. I really like the aggression that Vi can put out. Now, she does struggle into a lot of the CC, but if she finds the Zeri, she will not get off that Zeri.
Gnar. I don't think I've seen Hunter play Gnar. At least not regular season on the stream games. But it is a very heavy CC comp coming out from Avalanche.
Mm-hmm. And, not that much... I mean, Kaisa does a lot of damage and Akali does a lot of damage. It just feels like a Mundo here still gets to do a lot in the late game, but I don't know if I'm confident that Conduit Monarch wants to pick Mundo into Gnar. It looks like they want to go Tahm Kench, which makes a lot more sense. It doesn't get quite as tanky as the Mundo. It does a lot better into lane than Gnar, from what I understand.
Yes, there's a lot more escapes. He can Grey Shield and get back some of that health. And he is an excellent escape safety tool if he needs to eat somebody who's too far in and then get him out.
Yeah, so these lane matchups are slightly different. The Ashe instead of Caitlyn, I mean, Ashe actually does a lot of similar things that the Caitlyn does early in lane. But if Conduit Monarch kind of give up the early lane like they've done for multiple games in a row, it's not as punishing on the Ashe as Caitlyn. However, despite giving up an early game lane for bot lane every game so far, Monarch has won every game, tonight at least. So Ashe kind of does everything, right? It makes that matchup a little bit harder for Kai'Sa, but even if she wins, she can still provide a lot of utility whenever the real carry is this Zeri.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little harder, I think, actually for Conduit's bot lane to navigate. You do have the Ashe here who can bring out that heavy enchanted, or the crystal arrow, but if it's onto the Kai'Sa, Ashe isn't going to get to play the game for the next 4 seconds. The stun's going to be off because of there's a Leona. And Seraphine is not going to be killing the Kai'Sa at the time of that arrow. So it makes bot lane kind of difficult because Kai'Sa's not forced to take cleanse because she is paired with a Leona. Now the 3v3 is really where the questions come in. Who can impact this more, the Zac or the Vi?
And the 3v3 has been where bot lane has kind of been exploding. I haven't seen them really take a 2v2 early that was even led to that many summoner spells going off, but the junglers just keep on coming bot lane. And then usually it goes Avalanche's way. Zac makes it a little bit easier for Conduit Monarch to win that 3v3, or Zac can just go mid and try to overload Zeri and get Bam ahead again.
Yeah, I think if you're OSG and Conduit, you play around mid lane in this match. You've been winning bot lane as OSG. Your problem has been Bam in this mid lane. You know, the Vi makes a lot of sense. She gets 6. She R's Zeri. You know, if you have Leona roam up, Akali's there. Akali can follow. You know, you have enough lockdown to pin Zeri down and get the kill and make Zeri a non-factor. It's going to be if they can execute it.
So, has Avalanche finally found the solution to this double 80 carry comp that Conduit Monarch has brought now 3 times in a row, winning twice? Maybe Avalanche can use this team comp to their advantage. I mean, the Holly's the same, but you bring the Vi and the Gnar, maybe it's a little bit better against the Zeri.
Yeah, hard CC into hard CC. Conduit's looking to punch their ticket to finals. Avalanche backs against the wall. It's win or the season's over.
Absolutely, and we'll have to figure out what happens to their season after a break. Welcome back to the Rift for potentially the final game of the night. I know it's felt like a 3-0, but we're actually in game 4, which is kind of interesting because, I don't know, the mental has got to be weird. I've never been in this situation as a player for sure, where you're getting 3-0'd, but you've got to win, so you don't have as far to go. But the players right now are just 5-pointing. Nothing too spicy for this game.
Yeah, you're definitely not looking to do anything crazy. You're in the lead if you're Conduit Monarch. You just have to play this out. You know, you've been playing mostly clean. No reason to do anything risky with a level 1 invade.
Right, but Billy and Novocaine are not, not shy of invading later in the game, especially whenever one of them shows a long time in the bot lane. And I feel like both junglers are going to be pathing towards bot lane. You could impact top lane or mid lane a lot this game. I don't know. And I guess, arguably for Monarch, bot lane just hasn't been impactful. So maybe they don't path towards it. But Zach right now is starting Raptor camp, so I think that's potentially what's going to happen for Billy.
Yeah, I think if you're Conduit, you do have to kind of protect your bot lane a little bit. You don't want OSG's bot lane just
Luna's
go
gotten
insane.
into melee range of Hunter. Now, Luna will take a lot of damage for this, but I don't think that they mind, because they got the bush, so it's okay. But getting melee range of a Gnar that early is definitely something spicy for the top lane.
Yeah, it's going to be some good pokes, trading of health bars back and forth. Yeah, slight health advantages.
Oh, the level 2, but Bam doesn't wear that. Matrix is also going to get level 2 at the same time, and I think this is kind of dangerous because you've got no E. Now, Matrix, unfortunately, Akali really pops off at level 3, so it's not the most impactful trade. Like, you're not killing Zeri. Getting those health bars low like that, however, could help for the level 3 if you can get control of the wave again.
And Billy has invaded here. He starts Raptors, immediately steals blue into Gromp.
Right, and I don't think that Novocaine has any idea.
No, they have no idea this is happening.
And that also means that Zac is in a really good spot to gank from. You do not expect Zaki to come from your own jungle. Looks like he's going to stop with only 2 camps. Matrix might be looking to go in, which would be a really bad time. 2v2. I mean, I guess it doesn't quite favor Zakazari, so they will back off anyways. Meanwhile, Luna getting poked out, as is the role of
Billy
the melee into Gnar matchup. Now, I think Zac actually goes into a tower shot because of that blast plant, the Q. Novocaine doesn't want to commit exactly, because Flash could meet Flash, and maybe you can't quite kill. But that means Billy is done invading, but still got those camps free and clear.
Yeah, and I don't think Novocaine knows it just yet. He hasn't seen his blue is gone, so he's going to path up there.
He's into it. Gets the bad news.
He did take my whole top side. That's why he was there.
Well, you get a constellation crab. Actually going to try to find the Zac in his own jungle.
They know
like,
this
you
is
took
happening.
My camps.
They
Your
saw
camps
him on
have
the
to
ward.
Be up. Oh, man. It's interesting because I don't think Novocaine can really do anything. Zac has protection. Because Hunter has prio, sure, but he's not going past that tower, really. He's going for the gank mid, actually. Flashes in, gets the E, but Bam has everything. Doesn't even have to flash because Novakin took so many tower shots. Matrix is trying to protect his jungler. He is going low as well. Bam has not used a single summoner spell in this. Novakin had to use flash and also has to escape from his own gank.
Yeah, the tower shot was heated from Novocaine flashing across, so Matrix takes a huge chunk from an already heated tower shot.
So now Zach has so many options. I mean, all of his camps are up because he spent so much time taking Vi's camps. Goes for his blue side just to make sure that Vi can't come in and steal some. Although Novakaine's looking. I don't know.
Novocaine has
Both
to know
junglers have
this
no
is
items.
super late. He's gonna have to wait in the bush if he wants this to work out.
Meanwhile, bot lane, Leona goes in, and this is kind of nice because Pan has to walk away for so long, and now Brigade can be targeted. The Xarzis did take a lot of damage from just Seraphine. I don't think Ashe hit Xarzis once, and the minions of Seraphine alone got him to half. Now Leona on the target of that. Novakin does get the blue. Now he's running away with a Kali, though. Actually running potentially back in. No, they just use a Kali to get the pressure. Zeri can't really match, though, so they can go bot lane, and this bot lane is so... I mean, it's just so close what's going to happen here. Looks like both junglers are here, but not quite willing to commit.
Interesting.
Muslim, like, can I take a camp? Can I take a camp? Please don't.
Feels Pan ends up using the flash rather than cleansing the Leona stun. So we'll have to see if that becomes a factor here in the next 2 minutes.
Right, but Zach is just not sure what to do. Wants to protect from the gank from Vi. Vi's just taking the camp. Meanwhile, Billy has just sat in this lane for so long, even cancels the recall of his bot lane. Top lane, Luna gets on to Hunter with level 6, eats him. I don't think Luna has an option here. Yes, Hunter has an option here. Luna has the flash over, gets first blood. Meanwhile, bot lane, Zach does go for that gank, but they get Xarzis. I think that now Vi is here, though, so they get Ashe as well. Zach still has passive, so you don't really want to focus onto him. Novocaine just doing some last-minute trades to make sure Sirion can get out. It ends up being a 1-for-1 of both junglers involved. But Vi was able to get an extra camp during that, and the wave is a really good state for Xarzis.
Yeah, and both ADCs go down. Ashe gets a kill, though. Kai'Sa does not.
That's true. The lane is kind of awkward where Kai'Sa's going to get his farm and see XP advantage. Ashe is going to have that initial 300 gold burst advantage.
Yeah, we do have first dragon up. Grubs are also up, but there's been so much focus bot lane, we've kind of ignored the objectives. But we do see Lunafreya go ahead and drop a pink over onto the Grubs. And let's see, Nova's starting to path that way, and so is Zach. Seraphine's already up here.
Well, it's so awkward because Seraphine's here, Zach is not here yet. So all you can really do is get vision. You're not starting the Grubs without your jungler, but Zach gets there pretty quickly.
They may
over
look
the
to
wall.
gank Hunter here, as they're all moving up on this top side.
Yeah, Bam is moving up, gets spotted by Vi, so I don't think that's coming through. And Seraphine is not willing to commit here without that CC coming through from Lunafreya. So Seraphine's just been up here for about 45 seconds, and now Brigade just has to watch Zach take the camp while Vi takes the Grubs. Looks like finally Seraphine's going to move. I mean, this counter of Seraphine being up here while Kai'Sa has got this perfect freeze has been a long time. I mean, that's a 53 to 35 CS advantage down there.
Kai is just now
Finally,
moving
Zach
up.
will come in. It looks like Vi wasn't able to get any Grubs. They're still going
Neither
for this
was
though because
Zach.
Leona's... Yeah, Leona has finally decided to come up like, oh, hey, they don't have their support here. Probably somewhere around here, but they haven't spotted them yet. Finally, Brigade will show, as Brigade, I think, is going back towards bot side.
This is a very interesting roaming back and forth from the supports, trying to be sure they're here for the scrub fight. That just hasn't happened yet.
Well, the support's only level 5, so there's not ultimates coming out here. However, Seraphine has been able to use the range advantage that Sari and Seraphine have to get this mid lane push. I mean, Akali can't do anything at a one-range character. Now there's two. Leona's not gonna
Zacky's
be
in
able
the
to help
Grubs.
that. Zac has started it, but Hunter has found Lunafreya with ultimate. Now, Zac goes down into passive. That's still a passive. It can delay so long. They're not even fighting it yet. Finally, Novocaine will get on it somewhat. Not able. We'll finish it off. Meanwhile, Zeri able to get in pretty hard. Akali's out of this fight. Novocaine is dead. Tom Kitch is on Sirion. Sirion's trying to do anything that he can for this. Just not going to work out. Lunafreya will take that eating, make sure Zeri gets it, and they get 2 of the 3 Grubs.
And both kills go over to Bam on Zeri.
Yeah, I feel like this happened last game as well, where Zeri got 2 kills from a top lane fight. Meanwhile, the 1v1 down here, Xarxes gets spotted by the E. Xarxes has a lot of tools to all in here, but he's kind of taking a lot of damage here. Ultimate will get the shield and get the kill.
Yeah, good use of the ult. Popped the shield. Knew exactly where that health pool was. Plays it really well. The Q kind of mispositions a little bit. Doesn't get the full execute off.
Oh, but Zac is here, and Xarxes does not have cleanse, which doesn't really matter. She's got flash. I think Xarxes is going to be okay. I mean, he may not even have to flash since there's no Q here.
Just walks it out. Zac, or Leona and Vi are both here. But Leona's not 6 yet. Surely they don't look dragon here.
Yeah, it's really awkward. Maybe they could get onto Zarian, though, because there's no Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa had to leave. Vi comes in just to get pulled up. Ashe is here. Does not have an ultimate yet, but is going to put out a lot of damage. Vi finally gets onto Ashe. Flashes over the wall, though, and there's no one getting onto the Ashe. They do get Billy. Novacaine has to flash out. Matrix is here, though, and Zeri is not. So I think, actually, despite the numbers disadvantage, their Kai'Sa wasn't there. They are able to win the 2v3 by pulling in their Akali.
Yeah, really close on that Zenith Blade to land as well. I'm surprised that didn't hit there over on the Ashe coming out from Ty. But they are able to clean that fight up pretty good. But Bam's on plates for this dragon.
Oh, I don't know that they can contest this. Zeri will get plates, but your Zac isn't here, so maybe you also go back to lane for Field Fan Man and Brigade and give up this dragon.
Know why Matrix is still here. He should be mid lane.
Right, he's gonna lose a lot mid lane, and Bam has already got a 2-kill lead on him.
And 2 plates.
Along with that CS advantage, along with that plate advantage. Zerion comes to maybe stop Zeri for now, but the plates have already been taken.
Yeah. You're roaming a lot on this Leona, but you're not 6 yet. You're not scary till you're 6. That is when you can threaten.
And top lane is just so hard for Gnar whenever he's behind. This is not where Gnar wants to be, where he's getting bullied. You know, he's able to get the mini wave in with Mega, but once Mega's gone, Luna just kind of gets to own the lane.
Yeah, that seemed to be what happened during the Grub fight. The Gnar rage bar was already filled up just as Grub started. So
no frozen mallet
no
here. Has to jump away and just give up all of that minion control. Like, Hunter is not able to get anywhere close. Actually tries to and has to flash for his efforts.
Yeah, Costly trying to step back up. He's being zoned out of the XP. He's gonna have to call Novo up to break this freeze that Luna Freyr's got on him. 'Cause now, no flash. It's hard to get in the XP range.
Luckily, the wave is coming into him, so he won't lose too much. But at the same time, I mean, it just feels so miserable to be Gnar in this situation. This is what Gnar is supposed to be doing to Tahm Kench, not the other way around.
The range is losing the matchup to the melee. It's always difficult. But he's going to be able to clean this up. Vi is here. And Zac is bot side.
Right, Zac is bot side, but Grubs are spawning in 40 seconds, so I don't expect him to stay that way. This time there's not 2 objectives on the map. Dragon's gone for a long time. I feel like all people are going to be looking at these Grubs, but Zac is recalling now 30 seconds before. If I... Oh, Ashe Arrow? Stops the back. This actually is a huge tempo play. You don't get a kill or anything for Ashe Arrowing your enemy AD carry. You do get control of the wave, which means that Kai'Sa has to stay.
Yeah, which gives... I think Ashe has the item advantage still. Because Ashe got to back and Kai'Sa hasn't yet.
You know, oh, poor Hunter. Hunter has to play like this, and the teams are grouping for Grubs. It feels really bad as top lane to have to figure out some way to get back to your team to help them.
He
I'm
needs
not
to
sure what's gonna
back
happen.
and
Nar's
TP
just
in at this
doing
point.
the farm. Right, Nar's just hitting the farm, so I don't think Novacaine wants to go in on this. I mean, he's looking like he wants to. I don't think that's a good idea, buddy, but they're bringing the Kai'Sa. They bring the Kai'Sa. This is a numbers advantage. Vi's coming in. The Seraphine only hits Akali. Leona is on the back line, gets on the Zeri. Zeri is hitting CC chain. Kai'Sa should ult in anytime. Kai'Sa has not yet found the angle. Novacaine will go down. Kai'Sa finally comes in, though, and there's no one to answer Kai'Sa. Tahm Kench is the only source of CC. Really? There goes Zac. I mean, Kai'Sa's just... Actually, I was wrong. There's just
Double
so much
stun
CC.
ult.
Finally, Luna Frey gets on him as well once he flashes over. They will answer Bam, which will be a shutdown. They will answer the... Oh, wait, teleport. And I don't know if this is going to work out that well. Zox is going to be really low. He will still go down, and now you're committed in. Luckily, they don't have the CC to stop it, but they have the flash. Blast Plant, however, will get him out. During all of this, Ashe obviously was able to 1v0 in this bot lane, though.
Yeah, Ashe
And they got
able
4
to pick up
grubs.
2 plates for the troubles, 2 grubs. You do give over some kills, but the fight more or less goes even. Bam was cleaned up, does give a shutdown over to Kaisa.
Right, but the fight was even without Ashe even involved. Meanwhile, Bam trying to find this fight. If Matrix cannot kill here, he will be chased down. Looks like it's going to be the chase down option. Bam looking for a way to make this happen. Doesn't want to go in without E, though. So the tower will protect Matrix for now. Yet Matrix will not protect the tower because he has to recall. Has teleport, so maybe there will be commitment there.
Yeah, Brig
teleport
looking
will
to get
come
some
in.
vision. Looks like they're going to tempo straight into Rift Herald.
Yeah, they're not interested in keeping the Ashe in the 2v2 lane. They want Seraphine here for something. I mean, I guess once Matrix uses the TP, there could be a fight potentially while Bam is half health. And having the Seraphine help here will help prevent that.
Yeah,
But I don't know, the 1v1 for
OSG
Ashe is
faster
kind of
on the
hard
trigger.
now.
looks like they're going to go for the Rift Herald, but Dragon's up 25 seconds.
Yeah, and the mid wave is completely in control for Monarch. That's going to be hitting the tower. Ashe ult is available, and it could be used in the 1v1. It could be used in the other side of the fight. So bot lane is kind of really important for the whole map.
Yep, so now we have Kaisa in the 1v2, looking to be a 1v3. They can land the arrow, they have enough CC to follow up, or they're just going to take the Dragon versus for Rift Herald trade.
Yep, just handshake objectives across the map. There will be one dragon for both teams, which is really nice for the team that has already secured themselves quite the lead in mid lane. Although Kali got some kills.
Kali has the
shutdowns, I
field,
believe, in the
Gold's
last fight.
dead even.
Mm-hmm.
Dragons are even. There's the
Arrow
arrow.
comes out, however, there's no cleanse here.
cleanse.
That should be a CC into death. Who will get it? I mean, I'm assuming they're giving it to Ashe. They will. And that is just how you bring back your support and surprise 2v1 your opponent. Meanwhile, top lane, Luna actually kind of losing this fight, but the comeback is here. Vi's here, though. And I don't think Lunafrey has a way out. They just R-button anytime he tries to E, but they use it early. I don't think it matters. Zac is not going to be able to CC for long enough. I mean, Zac is just here to do enough damage. Lunafrey's not dead yet, somehow. Finally, Nara will kill him. They get the tower bot lane, and Sirion is in the 1v2 suddenly. Because Kaisa is still dead, or he's still dead, I think. And they do get Sirion. Did they get Kaisa before while I was talking about the top lane fight? Meanwhile, Bam
think they did.
kind of just punching everyone. Novogaine's on him though with shield. Billy will sacrifice himself to make sure that Bam will live. But Bam wants to go in again anyways, and Matrix gets the E damage. Akali is suddenly way back in this game.
Yeah, huge triple kill coming out here for Akali. Matrix finally getting the play he was looking for on the Bam. That gets him back in the game. If you're Akali or Matrix, you are feeling very good 4-0. So
Right,
plays
but
all across
you're
the
the
board.
only one on your team currently feeling good, because bot lane is struggling. That tower's gone. Mid lane's even going to go down as well, presumably pretty soon.
Yes, and
Your
the gold
jungler
lead
is
is
doing-
now for Conduit. What was a dead even game.
So it is really on Matrix to make sure that he can get on the back line and make his personal gold lead outweigh his entire team's deficit. That's a lot of numbers here. That is
Yeah,
5
5
people
mid.
here, but they're not able to find the CC to actually go in on anyone. They're just using the Herald,
Up the Herald.
which is a good reason to group as well.
Yeah, still have 4 in the area. Maybe looking to dive this. Leona ult is up.
But Bam is just on the side lane doing fine. Hunter actually finds Lunafrey under tower. Now Lunafrey has the option to get out now that there's no CC available for Hunter. But that'll diffuse a lot of the pressure that was going on in top lane.
Yeah, good Nara.
Ashe is actually ulted, has cleanse. Doesn't want to use it for the slow, wants to save it for the Q. Here it comes. There goes the cleanse. Zac is coming in. Kaisa's still going in though. Flash for flash. But the Zac CC is just too much. Seraphine will also make sure it fills Pan Man. Has to die to Sarion. But they get both kills for that engage of Avalanche.
Clean up both. It looked kind of Kind of cool with Kaisa ulting across to avoid the Zac ultimate, but the Seraphine's there to clean it up.
Oh, Bam is here. That's a lot of slow, but the Q from Novocaine is just barely able to avoid the root.
Yeah, good response here from Conduit, keeping up with this tempo play. Yeah, it seems like they just have an answer for everything OSG is throwing at them right now.
Well, the one unanswered thing so far is Matrix. Matrix was in the side lane there, not part of that play. If he is, obviously it looks a lot different, but at least this way he gets a tower, which makes his gold lead even greater.
Yeah, if you're kind of happy right now with where this is going. You're slowly expanding this gold lead. You're mostly getting the plays that you want, and the picks have gone your way.
Yeah, at the same time, you really have to keep your eye out for this Akali, because he will join fights soon. With Ash not having cleanse, with you know, having that pick potential with Leona Akali, I mean, you've got a good thing going, but you got to stay concerned about that Akali.
Yeah, vision from Brigade is now going to be really, really key. You need to keep a good eye where this Akali is and these flank angles. Is able to assassinate Zeri at this point, Ash, and the Seraphine.
Pretty much anyone that he wants to get rid of that does damage will be gotten rid of. But Billy does such a good job, I've seen, of engaging at the cost of his own life to make sure his carries can continue to do damage. And Akali struggles whenever she's knocked up, knocked away, and rooted and stunned. So
we're pulling
there's
everybody
still
for
a
this
lot of
dragon.
potential.
We burn the TP. Conduit's able to hear first, get vision, but they don't get the pink ward in the back of the pit.
Unlucky. Forgetting about the Ocean Soul pink word is very unfortunate. Now, the team is pretty grouped up. That's actually kind of nice for them, though, because they've got Tom Kinch and Zac. It's hard to see chain them, but now it's not happening. Zac will eat, or Tom Kinch will eat the Ash. Meanwhile, Bam is not eaten. On the backside now, Zac engaged to try to protect his carry. His carry is already dead, so he will also go down into passive at least. Lina Frey, however, is not so lucky. Kaisa, Old and Leona go into the backline now. They should be able to clean up the rest of this fight, and OSG Avalanche just get a clean ace, or, I'm sorry, 4 kills for 0. Pretty close to a clean ace.
Tessarian lands a beautiful Leona ult, stunning both the carries out of Conduit. Just great play. Tessarian actually did so much work there. After landing the ult, ends up getting back on Fuel's Pan, who went over the wall to stun him out. Fuel's Pan did land the arrow onto Matrix, but Matrix burns the stasis and was able to stay safe in that fight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate you have Tom Kinch to protect your carries. You got 2 carries, though. And Fuel's Pan Man is not really the carry you want to save, arguably. Once he throws that arrow, Zeri's all the damage. But Fuel's Pan Man is 1e8, and Zeri went down and did nothing that fight.
Exactly, yeah. Once Tai landed that ult onto the BAM, everybody just went all in, and they got the priority target they needed to clean up that fight.
Now, this will just be their second dragon, but the Ocean Dragon helps their melee champions a lot. No more worrying about losing too much health to Seraphine and Ash. Just heal it up a little bit, you know?
You do heal it up a little bit, and big thing for OSG, your Kaisa is now online, getting that triple kill.
Yeah, your Kaisa's online, and your Akali is still very much online. Matrix showed what he can do in that fight. It's just going to continue to get worse, especially whenever he's joined by Kaisa that now has items as well.
Yes, and if you're your Brigade right now, you have to be very cautious about your rotation and your pathing. You do not want to take a bad path here.
Syrian is going to engage on Billy. Billy has enough tools to get out that I think he's fine. Zeri's just going to threaten him a little bit. However, being this aggressive around the Baron Pit is very scary for Monarch.
And they sent Gnar down to match Zeri. That's a tough matchup for the Gnar.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like Matrix would be able to match it pretty well. At the same time, not having to teleport in your Akali means that whenever a pick happens, he can be there immediately rather than trying to go for a flank. The Q onto Pan Man. Kaisa's already on top of him, but the Seraphine ult delays for so long. There's no one on the carries right now. They're simply running away. Xerxes will go down here to Zac for sure. Now, Zac will also go down, but on the backline, Syrian's just trying to dive too many carries. will go down. Matrix is still full health, however, and that is what you've got to imagine is the entire basket for Avalanche.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1
Looks-
right now. Billy Willard
Now-
able to do so much work on that Zac.
But Tomkich still has ult, so they're gonna go for this Baron. They don't have Smite though, and Vi can get in there pretty easily. I think it was just to try to make sure that the enemy team reacts appropriately, which they did. They said, I'm gonna go get menu waves. If you continue this nonsense, we're gonna try to steal it. So unfortunately, they have to stop the Baron and go back and collect menu waves themselves.
Yeah, so no objectives are really up outside the Baron, but with Billy being down, not going to be able to do anything. And most of the camps are down for Billy as well, so he's not even really going to lose anything for this.
Yeah, he is also comfortable losing whatever he needs to make sure that Bam and Feels Pan Man are continuing to carry this game. Once they engaged on Ashe, and Ashe didn't die, that fight was over. And with Tomkins, with Zac, with Ashe, with Seraphine, that seems like a real possibility if Matrix cannot find these engages.
Yeah, Billy's just donating everything he can right now into the Zeri pocket. Like, almost like the old funnel comp we used to see. You're going to see Bam taking chickens. The CS is still coming up pretty strong, running almost 9 CS on Bam.
Yeah, he's got 3 items right now to Matrix 2, even though Matrix is quite fed himself.
Yeah, the only a 2-kill difference and the 10 CS, so it's very, very close between these two. You don't want to fight either of them.
Top lane's back to top lane things. Hunter is doing a little bit better surviving here. He's not threatening Tom Kench yet, but he's not being threatened as much yet. He's still, able to kind of hang out.
Yeah, it does finally now have the Black Cleaver, so there is some armor shred coming out. So he'll do a little more damage along with the percent health and the Trinity Force. So he's in a lot better standing.
This Baron has not been a threat yet for either team, really. This dragon spawning in 1 minute, however, will be. I don't imagine Monarch really want to give up 2 ocean dragons, which would be the 3rd dragon as well.
Yeah, but
2
you have to
OSG
be very
Avalanche.
careful. If you lose too many on this dragon fight, or if this goes poorly for one side, it will be Baron and cost a massive gold shift for all these towers still up.
Exactly. So, watch Matrix goes back for the needlessly large rod. Will be a pretty big power spike. Does
Burns the
teleports in to
TP.
make sure bot lane, just to make sure bot lane is pushing for his team. Now, Meganar's gone. It will probably be up by the time Dragon spawns, but he doesn't have TP, so Hunter making a choice that Tom can just keep teleporting in. Gnar will not be here. Matrix is the one engaged on. He has to find a way to escape this. Will use Flash to do so, but now his team really just has to give up this dragon. It is just the 2nd dragon for the enemy team, so I think they're going to be okay with doing that. I really don't like them grouping here unless they find the Zeri. Bam's kind of out of position though. Arrow finds somebody, I believe. We're going to look at the dragon for now, and Zeri just has to walk away. I don't think they want to engage this fight though because they don't have Gnar. Do they disagree though? He's going for the steal. He does not
Doesn't
get
get
it.
it.
Zach gets it. And now you're just engaged in a fight that's disaster for you. Narv's not here. So Akali has to Zanya's. If he lives, at least they don't give over the shutdown. Novocaine will not though. Sarian will not. Zarzi's will not. Everyone is going to die that's here except for the Akali.
Absolute disaster. It was already a scuffed play. You just wanted to let this go. If you really wanted Novocaine to dive, it's fine if he tries for that steal, as long as he's the only one that dies for it. But you've now given over Baron.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I'm not sure if Hunter was not communicating that he didn't have teleport, or if Novocaine was not communicating, hey, I'm dying for this, please leave me. But somewhere, something didn't get communicated right, and that means a dragon for Monarch, and more importantly, the Baron for Monarch.
So this was the play we were discussing. Like, if this goes poorly for one side or the other, it gives Dragon and Baron. And with all these towers still up, this is going to be a big gold shift over to Conduit Monarch. And now OSG is going to have to survive the next 3 to 5 minutes without losing too much of their base. And they don't really have a way to fight it. They're going to have to concede a lot of it.
Yeah, and look at this Zeri build, by the way. Lifesteal item. And then just AoE. I mean, it's true that you don't have to do that much damage on Zeri. You just kind of have to survive. So having these items is going to make Bam so hard to kill. And Matrix will certainly try, but at some point, that shutdown's going to go down if you don't win these fights.
Yeah, Matrix was able to escape with Slice, so he does keep his shutdown intact. But now Bam is so far ahead, I he does not win that 1v1 into BAM.
Okay, Vi's looking for something, finds the flashing Seraphine. Seraphine ult's gonna be a lot of CC though, but it doesn't get it off. Meanwhile, now you're just fighting a 4v5. Tomkin just coming in on your backline though. That is Novocaine locked up. Sirion is already dead. Zari's had to flash and Zanya's. Novocaine will go down. Matrix finally engaging in the fight so late and getting ulted by everyone. That will be the shutdown going over to BAM. Now Zari's lives at least, and Ynar didn't get involved, but everything goes wrong once again for Avalanche.
Yeah, they rush the fight. They pick the wrong target. They go after the Seraphine. This is not the problem on the team. It needed to be the Zeri, and they're going to lose a lot of their base for this. If not
it looks
the
like they're
game.
grouping up to potentially end the game. They've got a lot of 80 carry power once again by picking that mid 80 carry. Sirion is here though. That could be quite a bit of CC coming out. Tomkich has no ultimate, so there's no protection for these carries. However, the best protection is just running away and disengaging, which they will do so to go back to top lane.
So OSG is able to barely survive this 4K gold lead over Conduit Monarch. Maybe more as they look for this tower. This would also be another scary fight for OSG if
They've got
they
a
take
small
this.
window where Tom Control is not up, and now the CC lands on Zeri, but there's just no engage. They don't want to go in
No
on that.
follow-up.
Even though Tom Kinch doesn't have ult,
That
he's
was the
still
one
quite
you
a
wanted.
scary frog.
You got the Leona
Now,
ult
Luna
on the target you wanted.
is getting rooted. Seraphine ult into Zac is not going to find that much. However, Bam is just ulting and doing so much damage. Finally, people are into Bam. He's still living with the lifesteal shield. Bam is finally down. That's the one thing they do need. And that
Zac is
means
coming
for the
back
rest
up.
of the team. Wait, Bill's Panland is the second carry. He's just killing everybody. He even gets on his Zaries, but Sirion is here to make sure Zaries is able to win that fight. Billy will also go down. So despite losing their inhibitor, they are able to come back and find the timing window where Tom Kinchult is down and win the fight.
It is a very, very scrappy fight. What looked like it should have been a clean, beautiful engage coming out of Ty, landing the Leona onto Fields Pan, onto the Bam. Like, you locked up both of your carries, there was no engage, so pretty big delay coming out. They still end up finding the kills. The Gnar ultimate looked really good coming across. And then Kaisa just doing Kaisa things, ults across, and is able to
We can
clean
call
up
it-
the fight.
We can call it Sirion's bait ultimate. He used it. So the enemy team was like, oh, Leona ult is down. We're going to be totally fine. Zac and Seraphine used their CC to go in. But they can't go in. That's not their job. Their job is to protect Zeri. And once those tools were down, even without the Leona ult, they are able to find Bam and shut him down.
Yes, we finally saw the excellent target selection. Bam was the priority focus from OSG. The moment they got him, they cleaned up the fight almost instantly because all of Conduit's damage was gone.
Okay, so Dragon's up and Ash Arrow's down because it was trying to find that greedy recall that actually ended up working out. So, there's no Ash Arrow. There's still Tom Kinchult, though. And I feel like that's the big cooldown that's going to tell the story of how Bam gets to live one more time. And this
That
Dragon
Ash Arrow is
pretty
going to be up
impactful
in
for
about
both
30
teams.
more seconds.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like the fight might start before then because both teams have an opportunity to engage. Look at that going now on Novocaine. Novocaine goes out. Sirion is still there to CC him. Luna is in the front line. Zari is finally able to get damage off Sirion. Will
Sirion
find
goes
the
down
death. Meanwhile,
before he can get his
the
ult out.
ultimate- I mean, Zeri is in trouble here, but gets the shield off and just kills everyone anyways. Doesn't even need the Tom Kinch ult anymore. Hunter will have to run away, Kaisa will have to run away, and they can either choose to go back for the dragon or potentially in the series if they can get this mini wave into the game.
They are going to look to end, and it was a beautiful Seraphine ultimate that comes across that gives him that win that caught Ty. So Leona dies with never getting the ultimate off to lock Bam down that they needed.
Okay, Mega Gnar is available, but they're diving right now on Zarzi. Zarzi's ult's out, but Gnar ults him away while Zarzi's ult's in, unfortunately. And that means you have no damage left. Hunter cannot do this alone. The Nexus will surely fall, and Monarch are going to be facing into the finals of TD Harmony. Now, remind me again, because I already forgot. Which team was it that who was going to have to play on the 30th?
It was Conduit Monarch that is going to reschedule to look for, I think, end of the month is when their availability.
Ah.
So
we're gonna be
finals
on
is going
pause
to be
for
a
this one
little
for a while.
delayed, but we will
It's
update
unfortunate.
that once we have it. But yeah, just pretty much really clean set of games. Basically a 3-0 coming out from Conduit Monarch.
Yeah, they didn't even look like they had a sub. They looked like they replaced Razors with someone who's just gonna bring 80 carries and just crush on them, despite the patches being targeted towards 80 carries mid for the last 3 patches. It doesn't matter. Bam's gonna come in, choose 2 different 80 carries, and be unanswerable.
Yeah, and surprisingly, right there in the damage chart is this Zac that we did see banned those first 2 games. 24,000 damage. Zeri did 26,000 damage. So we saw why that Zac was being banned. And Gnar, over on Hunter, 32,000 damage, top in the game.
Okay, so here's the question: you're against Bam in 2 weeks, or Razors. You don't know which. How do you even prepare as TD Harmony? I mean, if I'm Conduit Monarch, I might ask Bam to come up for mid, just be on the bench for game 2 or 3 if something goes different with Razors. I mean, you kind of got to prepare for 2 different teams.
Yeah, it's a very different champ pool that Bam can bring in that is hard to deal with. Somebody that can play these 80 carries in this mid lane at this level, and play them pretty clean, especially being able, with Billy being able to funnel him jungle camp so much and so early, and still not really fall behind, is going to be a struggle to deal with for any team. So TD Harmony has their work cut out, and they're going to need the time to scout that. Because you have to prepare for both versions of Conduit Monarch.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I feel like both are going to be on standby for that series in 2 weeks. Now, yes, the next series for this league will not be for 2 weeks, but we still do have games tomorrow for Sentinel. I wasn't able to check the schedule yet for what that will be.
I'm pulling
but
it up right now as we go. So we are going to see the streamed is going to be TD Blessed versus RAR. And the other game going on for Sentinel is going to be Braum Lions Matter versus Conduit Prime. So, sister teams. We're seeing Conduit Sentinel team, and then we'll see TD Bless sister team.
Yeah, there will still be quite the exciting games tomorrow. As for Arbiter, we'll keep you updated. I'm thinking you might have to stick around in the Discord for that one to be entirely sure. I guess we can also update on stream as we get that clarified. Yes. Tentatively, it's probably on the 30th. But keep in mind that Arbiter is going to have their finals quite a ways away from intended.
Yeah, once we have that confirmed, we'll get that out to everybody, so they know when the championship for Arbiter will be.
Thank you all for joining our first 1 week long semifinal. Very exciting stuff. Really cool to see a team have this unique situation where they have a week-long time to prepare, and they have to replace their mid laner and just completely flourish despite it.
Yeah, it was a very interesting series. Last week, we only got to see the one game because login servers went down. And then they come in, they have to replace their mid. So they bring Bam off the bench. And it was just the Bam show. Mm-hmm. Bam and Billy Wheeler just taking these games over. Just makes a completely different team than what we saw from Conduit Monarch most of the split. Just various champion pools. Mm-hmm. So we will also have that information on the podcast of the upcoming match. So be sure that you guys tune in to the podcast on Sunday.
Yeah, because we won't be seeing you on Mondays for a while, but there are still 3 other days of the week that LXC will be live, and I hope that you all join us then. But for now, for Mondays, we are finished. And thank you all for joining us for Arbiter League until its inevitable conclusion in 2 weeks.
Have a good night, everyone.